Hello. What's up, everybody? You're gonna encode overload literally like 2 seconds into the video? Thanks, fan. I appreciate it. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome on into NFL action right here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex. My name is Sean. Today, we are in week number 15 of a fantasy drafted 2001-2002 NFL season in NFL Fever 2002. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, scroll down, ring that bell. So scroll down, subscribe, ring that bell. There we go. I got the order right. And you will be notified when I post new videos every single day right here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex, 6 a.m., 7 p.m. The baseball season about to be a swinging off here. A couple more spring training games Friday. We'll see what MLB The Show 22 has in store for us. I'm assuming that we're going to just kind of jump into the season. I might have to play some games offline to try and get the difficulty where I need it to be, or I might just kind of work with it. I don't know. That's not what we're talking about here, but if you like sports, good place to be. If you want to watch an entire baseball season, great place to be. You can do that with the Seattle Mariners, defending Digital World Series champions, starting Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex. So subscribe if that sounds good to you. End of ads. Welcome. It's week 15. I don't know how the playoff rules work, but that doesn't matter. I'm not slowing down. We have an AFC heavy week this week, but it's for a good reason. A lot of divisional matchups, a lot of good teams with good records jostling for position. And we're going to start with the Rams and the Saints. And actually, here what I'll do is I typically try not to do too much of an intro here, but I'm going to take you through the standings. My thought process with those standings. Here's the NFC. I think it's going to just be the top 6 teams. I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter. I guess. I thought about the Vikings game. They're playing the Lions. I thought that could have been interesting, but I like this Rams Saints matchup because of, hey, if the Rams win, they can actually take over first place in the NFC West. So I thought that was interesting. They're both currently playoff teams, fingers crossed, I think. But I thought, hey, a top tier or a fight for the number 1 spot was an interesting place to start. Then we're going to go to 2 AFC Central matchups. Here is the AFC Central. It's a mess. It's a very tight race between 1st and 5th. And then there's the Bengals. Sorry, Cincinnati. You had a lot of luck in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. Needed a little bit more luck to win that game, and maybe some official changes there. Of course, you got benefited. It doesn't matter. We're past that. Your luck did not benefit you here in the 2001-2002 NFL season. You're 3-10. You're out of it. We're good. However, the Ravens and the Steelers, they play today. The Jaguars and the Browns, they play today. We're going to watch both of those games today, back to back. So we'll have a good idea of how this is going to shape up. And then just taking a look at the regular AFC, could flip some positions here if we go by the rule that just the top 6 make it, which I'm not 100% sure is true, but whatever. The Jaguars, Browns, Steelers, they are all right there. Seahawks are holding on to that last spot at the moment. Raiders and Bills would get the bye. Kansas City, New England, Baltimore, Seattle would all be playing each other in the playoffs. And the Patriots might be really kicking themselves for their 2 tie games. And hell, the Browns might be kicking themselves for their 1 tie game. Last but not least, we're actually going to take a look at another contender for the top spot in a division. It's going to be the Bills and the Patriots. Both teams, as I believe, would be in the playoffs, but this could flip some seeding, make it so that the Patriots get the week off, the Bills have to play on that wild card weekend. Who knows? We're going to have some fun today. So there you go. Hopefully these are some exciting matchups. Again, I don't know 100% how some of this stuff works. So I do apologize if it ends up being incorrect, and maybe there's some other games we should have watched that have more playoff potential. But hey, I'm doing my best. I should look up, and I was thinking about this before I started. I should see if there's like a playoff generator, like an online playoff generator. But anyway. I mean, I can look that up. I can look that up. Today, by the way, first topic of the day, we got the Brett Favre-led Saints here. We got Samari Roll on the defense for the Rams. Today's first topic.
Tim Brown has big play written all over. He's got speed.
Hell yeah, Tim Brown.
As well as great hands. The former Heisman Trophy winner is
the last couple weeks of this series, I guess, let me start this way. I muted my microphone so I could open a soda because I forgot to fill my water. Today's first topic. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. I know the video went up a day late yesterday or last week. I apologize for that. It was a little out of my hands. I thought I got it uploaded correctly. It just never started processing, so I had to delete the whole thing, re-upload it, which took a long time because I don't have the greatest internet in the world. Still wouldn't upload or process correctly. I'd upload it like 3 different times. It was a bummer, and I was a little bummed that it happened with a video that does get some pretty good traction. People seem to enjoy this series. So thank you, A, for watching, but B, thank you for your patience as well, so you could enjoy the action, albeit 24 hours later. Hopefully this goes up on Tuesday. It should. I'm recording this on a Sunday. I'm going to make sure it gets uploaded tonight into Monday, and it should be good for Tuesday. If for some reason this is up on a Wednesday again, maybe that's just the day it's designed to go up. The YouTube gods have said no more Tuesdays for this series. Only Wednesdays.
No back set for the Rams.
First play from scrimmage for the Rams, up past the 35 at the 36, the 1st and 10.
He's looking to throw.
He's going to try and run. Oh, nice move there. Love the little dodge to the left, little juke. And actually, they didn't give us quite as much of a replay as I would have hoped for, but slid through the offensive linemen instead of running directly into them. A mind-blowing, year 3000 play here. All right? Your quarterback's playing in the year 2001. He's playing in the year 3000, not running into his blockers. Good idea. That'll give the Rams a first down. Oh, second down and 4. Oops, I apologize. But a great start to the drive so far.
Allen with the ball.
Allen, he's making some nice moves out there.
Excellent effort.
And the running game is working well for the greatest show on turf.
Teague wrapped him up. And here are the defensive starters for New Orleans.
I thought that I would get to this video, by the way. I thought I was going to get to this on Wednesday. I did not. It is currently Sunday, the 27th of March, which means that I know all of the Sweet 16 and most of the Elite 8 results. I'm actually going to check that out right now. Hang on. We'll just do this.
Allen is looking for room.
A Cooper Cup Super Bowl jersey? Yes, please.
Super job by the defense.
The stop was by Mitchell.
LaFleur, Coach LaFleur of the Packers. Mourns Adams' move. Packers coach. Trading star was, quote, a tough one for me personally. Man, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year for the Packers this year, I think. Kind of would have rather had neither of them than just one of them. Either, like, both or none. Not, like, halfway either way. I don't want Davante Adams without, it is a waste of Davante Adams' talents to deal with a third-year quarterback. It's going to be an interesting receiving core for Aaron Rodgers. They traded Adams, obviously. That was a terrible throw. They traded Adams. Tyreek Hill gets traded to Miami because of Davante Adams and the deal that he got with the Raiders. And then Kansas City goes and takes signs Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So that leaves who? Because Kumarov is playing in, Kubero is playing over in Buffalo.
That's a touchback.
That was a big point of contention.
Here's the offense for the Saints.
It's going to be Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. Anyway, I was going to go look up scores for what is happening in
The drive
the
begins at the
Elite
20.
Eight. Ooh. Well, it's so it's a final. Kansas wins 76-50. Hard to believe that I read that score and Miami was actually winning at one point. Oh, a nice run by Ricky Waters. He fumbled the ball with a spin move. It's going to be a turnover on the first play of the game for the Saints. The Saints have a good record, but they have not played well in this series when on, like when we watch their games. For whatever reason, they play very poorly. And St. Peter's magical run comes to a 20-point conclusion. 20-point loss, I should say. Comes to a conclusion with a 20-point loss. 69-49 at the hands of North Carolina. So I think we should get, I believe it'll be next Saturday and Monday, you'll get the Final Four, and then you'll have the national championship. So there you have it. I think do you have Duke and North Carolina in there? Oh God, ratings people have got to be salivating over them. Okay, not as exciting as I thought. Amazing run by the number 15 seed. They knocked off a 2 seed the first round, obviously. They knocked out a 3 seed in the Sweet 16.
That's a first down for the Rams.
Incredible run. Sad to see it come too close. And it bummed that both of the games were like not even close.
Nice catch.
Kansas took over in that game.
Made the tackle.
I read the score. It was 47-40. Kansas was winning. Went back and looked, and it was like
just under 2 minutes left in this quarter.
64-46 or something like that. I was like, oh, this okay. This is taking a turn.
He drops back to pass. It's an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass? Let's look up. How would I find that? NFL.
Johnson looks downfield. Number 81 makes the catch. The clock's been stopped because there's a penalty.
Prior to the 2002-2003 playoffs, which would be what we are doing, 2001 to 2002, a team could finish second in its division and host a playoff game by claiming the number 4 seed as a wild card team. The new rules meant that the number 4 seed would be awarded to a division champion.
Carter managed a short game.
Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, all right, hold on. I think we can do this. The 12-team playoff format was modified. The league abided by this updated system until 2020.
Passing formation for
the because they added the super wild card by then. That's what it's going to do. The 4 division champions are seeded 1 through 4 based on regular season 1 loss tied record. 2 wild card qualifiers, non-division champion with the conference's best win-loss tied percentages are seeded 5 and 6 within the conference.
Still a lot of time left in the.
This is the last season that 3 wildcard teams qualified for the playoffs in each conference, and the last time a wildcard team from each conference hosted a postseason game. The addition of the Houston Texans. So how would I go about this? We got a field goal, up and good.
St. Louis will put the ball in play. Gramatica gets his foot into the ball. Keaton has the ball and starts upfield. He brought the kickoff back 25 yards.
A lot of people overlook the importance of special teams, but it's 1/3 of the game. The kicking team got the upper
Within
hand
each
on
conference,
that
the
play.
3 division winners and the 3 wildcard teams, the top 3 non-division winners with the best overall record qualified for the playoffs. Okay, cool. So I have the participants and the parameters here. So it actually, I've been wrong like this whole time.
He drops back to pass.
3 division winners and 3 wild card teams. Okay. So I think we're still watching some good games, some interesting games, because we have we have a couple of division leads up for grabs today. NFC West, AFC. I think actually all of them technically could. I think there's a possibility that because the Browns have a tie, they could end up with, obviously with some help, they could end up number 1.
That's the end of the first period.
But I'm actually going to need to pay attention to this as we go through. As we hit the end of the first quarter here, St. Louis up 3-0 over the New Orleans Saints. Saints have had the ball for 51 seconds. They turned it over once. They do have the ball here again, which is nice. They didn't turn it over on their first play of the drive. Perhaps they'll turn it over on the second play of the drive. You have gunslinger Brett Favre back there. Kick out to the left. I like it. Ricky Waters gets the first down.
That's a first down.
The 1 and 2 seeds from each conference received a bye in the first round. In the second round, the divisional playoffs. The number 1 seed hosted the worst. The number 2, the other.
Waters runs it.
Oh, man. They're trying to get this running game going. They're actually having more success pitching it out to the right or to the left than we typically see in this game. Waters is knocking through some defenders here, breaking some tackles, but not a whole lot of room that time around. Second down and 9 from the 35. Interesting. Okay.
It's a pass.
Deep down the field. Oh, into double coverage. That's what we call a classic Farving right there.
Third down, Saints.
It's third down.
Slot formation. Favre will throw.
Okay, well, we figured that out. So each division winner is
Fourth down, Saints.
I did not realize that. Probably, hey, folks, if you're going to make an entire series based on football, maybe know the rules. Maybe look them up every once in a while. I think it'll be easier next year when it'll be 4 division winners and then the two best records after that. So, yeah, because I did not realize that it was. I did not realize that. Whoops. That's my bad. Sorry about that. Hopefully you're still watching. This will be interesting. We'll have to take a look at this with our refocused, reframed mindset, aka the correct mindset. We'll have to take a look at it. So the Cowboys will automatically qualify. Currently, I believe the Saints are in first place in this division, so they would qualify. And I think the Packers are number 1 in the Central, and they would qualify. Where it's going to get really interesting is a lot of this is very muddled. There's a lot of teams that have like the exact same record. It doesn't feel like it's very spread out. It's a lot of 6-win teams, a lot of 7-win teams, kind of all jumbled together. So it's it'll be interesting. In the AFC side, I think it's Kansas City. Oh, that's an interception. Wow, that was a terrible throw. All right, Champ Bailey. What a surprise. Great football player.
These guys are being way too generous.
Smith wrapped him up. First pick in this game for Bailey.
Now that's
currently,
how you help your
I think
team.
it's
First down,
Jacksonville in the Central. I think Kansas City and Buffalo. But this will help. This will help. The 3 division winners were seeded 1 through 3. The wild card teams 4 through 6. They didn't use a fixed bracket playoff system, and there was no restrictions regarding teams from the same division matching up in any round. I don't know why there would be in the first round. The third seeded division winner hosted the 6th seed wild card, and the 4th hosted the 5th.
Hold everything. There's a penalty marker on the field.
Holding against the offense.
First and long.
First and 20.
Waters runs it. He found some running room. He picked up 5 yards. Tackled by Lucas. That was the 2-minute warning. There are exactly 2 minutes left in the first half. Second down, Saints.
Second and 50.
Favre will pass. Anthony caught the pass. The play covered 4 yards.
Okay. All right. Hey, by the way, nearing 850 subscribers.
Third down, Saints.
I don't know what the hell is going on. I appreciate the massive amount of support. It is plus 94 over the last 28 days, and that number has really skyrocketed over the last couple of weeks. So thank you so much for your support. Hopefully you're enjoying the content.
That pass was good.
I hope you're excited for lots more sports, daily sports. Excited about it. I think I've been uploading 2 videos a day for like well over. Well, I missed a couple of chunks in there, but it's been.
The kick's away. That kick
And it's
is
good.
It was good for 39 yards.
That scoring drive
That looked like a
covered
sketch.
13 yards.
A sketch someone submitted. They're like, hey, we kind of goofed up the photography. I just did the sketch.
We're waiting for the kickoff by New Orleans.
3-3 here as we near halftime, with a fresh sight on how the playoffs are going to work. So it'll be 3 division winners, the following 3 best records in the conference. I think it's going to get interesting because I want to say there's a division or two on the AFC side, I think, that might actually, I think it's the AFC Central, that might not have any teams in that top 6 seeds. Or
at the 36.
I guess I shouldn't speak out of turn. I should just wait. Should be patient. Fine, I'll be patient.
Johnson drops. Reed
Johnson,
makes
nice
the
throw
catch.
right
Nice
there.
work by the quarterback and the receiver. The play went 11 yards.
11-yard gain there.
First down, Rams.
First and 10.
4 down linemen for the defense. Johnson looks downfield.
No, a fumble for...
That's a fumble picked up by the offense. The ball was recovered by the offense. Timeout called by the visitors.
Why did they blow that play dead?
Has 2 timeouts.
Doesn't make any sense.
Second down, Rams.
Second and 20.
Johnson looks downfield.
Let's see.
He's got it. Smith almost got completely away from the defense, but that play was worth 26 yards.
He showed a lot of desire on that play. He refused to give up on the ball.
Tackled by Bell. We've got a tie score as the first half winds down. First down, Rams. Johnson looks downfield. Just a short gain on that completed pass.
Don't be looking at me.
Timeout called by the visitors. St. Louis still has 1 timeout left. Second down. The attempt is on its way.
We got a field goal battle
I know
brewing
he
here.
wanted a touchdown there, but hey, 3 is 3.
That scoring drive covered 32 yards.
Okay.
The kickoff is in the air.
Trying to find something in my email that I actually needed
Looks
to
for running room.
not lose. All right. Here we go.
That return
Running into that
was worth
returner.
24 yards.
Got a field goal battle, field goal game here. 6-3 the score. Saints get the ball back. Not exactly sure how much time is left.
The drive begins at
8
the
seconds.
28.
They'll start on the 28-yard line. They do have big-armed Brett Favre back there. Going to have to go quick, and then we know from lots of experience that this
That would have
clock
been a
management
great
is not
catch
good.
If he could have stayed in bounds.
he was out of bounds there. I don't think it's great about these out-of-bounds, inbounds catches. It feels like a coin flip, honestly.
Second down, Saints.
It's second down.
Favre looks for a receiver. The pass
They went for
was
that.
incomplete.
They went for that swat, but missed.
Third down, Saints.
I think the
2
defense
seconds
has
to
gotta
go
like
here.
its chances of holding the offense on this third down. The safeties just have to make sure that no receivers get behind them.
Favre looks downfield. It's a catch.
Okay. Is that really a catch? I thought his arm came down out of bounds, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of just stat padding. Saints, I believe, get the ball first here in the second half. We'll take a look at the first half stats. We got that 6-3 score there.
6-3, Rams.
Bit of a baseball score. Speaking of baseball, coming up later. 6-12 for the Rams, 346 for the Saints.
St. Louis is
Saints
ready
will get
to
the ball
kick it
here
deep.
first. Yep, a baseball later tonight. I believe it's going to
Gets his foot
be
into the ball.
MLB The
Looks
Show.
for running room.
Well, you know what? Hang on.
Return was
I can
worth
figure this out.
31 yards.
Okay, Dick. The
I believe it's going to be
return man won
MLB The
that
Show
round.
19,
They'll start this drive
taking
with
on the
pretty good field
Philadelphia
position.
Phillies, which I realized last night I goofed up. We had already played the Phillies. We played the Phillies in Philadelphia, but it was such a long
and
time
10,
between the
New
two games that I forgot that that we had already played the Phillies. We played them in episode
Waters is the
like
runner.
3, game number like
He didn't find any
What was it,
running room.
4?
No gain.
Oh, man. That
yeah,
was
game
a
number
nice
4
play.
was in
The ball
Philadelphia.
carrier was brought down
And I
by
goofed up, and I
Simmons.
don't have time to like re-record it or anything. There's not really much of a reason to re-record it or whatever, but
Second down, Saints.
yeah, I played the whole game, did everything, went to bed last night, and was like thinking about like, oh, what do I
Man in motion.
come up with like a funny like
Waters
thing to
runs
put
it.
in the description, whatever, ha ha ha, and then went, oh, I already played them. I already shoot. Oh, whoops. And yeah, Seattle at Philadelphia.
3rd and 9 for the Saints.
The offense's
MLB
best
The
chance
Show
of picking
or
this one
MLB
up
08.
is to
Actually,
throw
it was even
but
further
the
back.
defense knows that. So
It was
you
game
gotta go
number
something
3.
different,
Interesting.
like a draw play.
That explains it. Because it was game number 3 and then game number like
He's looking to throw. He makes the catch.
14,
No.
I want to say.
No first down.
Because all the other duplicate,
4th down, Saints. Second
all the other
play of
duplicate
day
covers
for
were like in
Smith.
pretty close proximity. Like we had Boston, and it was New York, Philadelphia,
Smith gets the kick away.
Boston,
Number
Minnesota,
81
Minnesota,
starts upfield.
Boston again. So it was like, oh, these teams are on the top of my head. Like I understand what I'm looking for. I know what I'm doing. And then Bryce Harper sneaks in
Coverage was really poor.
and
by
goofs
Stewart.
everything up. Of course, I could replay it in 19 if
First down, Rams.
I really wanted to. Could play the Nationals. The Nationals would be a good team. They don't have a cover athlete, and that's who, or that's where
Man in motion.
Harper came from. So
He made
Could
it
do
back
that.
to the line of scrimmage. There was no gain.
Sweet. Great play by the defense.
Woods
it's okay.
made
It's an
the
honest
stop.
mistake. You know, I feel kind of dumb. Where like I'm like, oh, This is
Second
an
down,
avoidable
Rams.
mistake that I just... But you know what? It's okay. MLB The Show 08. 08 to 19. So that would have been game number 3 and game number 14. Accidental duplicate team. That's okay. We know for next year.
Johnson looks downfield. That pass was good for a
If I can keep track of all of these games for a whole year and use them all once more. I mean, the MLB The Show franchise goes back even further than 06. The show itself, that franchise, started in 06.
Third down, Rams.
But hang on, let me look up the wiki. Because it's weird. Sony released, I think, 2 first-party MLB games in 2006. It's super bizarre. MLB The Show
It's a pass.
wiki.
The pass was incomplete.
There's an MLB series from 989
Fourth down,
Sports.
Rams.
It's
Second punt
Series
the
of Major
day
League Baseball
for
games by
Eagles.
Sony Computer Entertainment, published under their 989 Sports label. The series was originally developed by Sony Interactive Studios America, who later became 989, until eventually merging into Sony
That punt
Computer
goes
Entertainment
into the end
America.
zone and will
Following
not
the
be
merge,
returned.
the games
That's a
were released under
touchback.
the 989 brand up until 2006. Following that, MLB games from
First
Sony Computer
down,
Entertainment
Saints.
America, or SECA, were released by Sony San Diego Studio under the MLB
The defense
The Show
has 6
series.
DBs in the game.
Simply known as MLB on the PlayStation Portable. I had that
Runs
game
it. That
on
was a short
PSP.
gain by the halfback. Rolled, made the stop. Second
don't
down,
know.
Saints.
See also. Oh, that's it. That's it.
New Orleans lines up in I formation.
MLB 98. Sequel to MLB
Waters
Planet
is
Race?
pulled down for a loss.
Reception?
Now that was
These are
one
not
poorly executed
great.
play. You know, if they can't do it any better than that, they ought to take the thing out of the playbook altogether.
That was Vrabel. He made the tackle at the 22. Third down, Saints.
I think the defense has got to like its chances of holding the offense on this third down. They just need to make sure that they don't let a receiver
MLB The
get
Show
open behind the
21
safety.
sold 2 million copies. That's wild.
Quarterback
This
drops
doesn't
back
have
to
any.
pass.
This doesn't have any
Waters
citations.
dropped it. That looked like a
MLB The
catchable
Show,
pass from here.
MLB
That throw
15
wasn't
The
bad. He
Show
should have caught that.
was available on PS3,
Fourth down,
PS4,
Saints.
and PlayStation Vita.
This will
The
be
PlayStation
his
3
third
version
punt
sold
today.
300,000 copies or 400,000 copies. The PS4 1.01 million, and the
Number
PlayStation
81
Vita
calls
sold
for a fair catch. That
40,000.
punt covered 39
40,000. Boy, the Vita did not do well at all. My goodness. Got outsold by a
First
console
down,
that
Rams.
at that point was 9 years old, and most people had moved on to so the PS3 version of MLB The Show 16, which is the last one released,
Johnson looks downfield.
outsold every version of the
Caught
PS
the pass.
Vita
The
version,
play covered 5
and
yards. Fifth tackle in this
every
game now, recorded
version of the
by
PSP
Mitchell.
as well. Wow. Huh. I was hoping for
Second
more.
down, Rams.
second and 5.
I was hoping for more information about that. But there are 2 MLB games in 2006. It's MLB 2006 and then MLB 06 The
The
Show.
clock's been stopped
Very weird.
because there's
And
a
they're
penalty.
both PlayStation exclusive games, which is odd.
Second down, Rams.
So I could, if I wanted to do an even longer spring training, I could go all the way back to MLB 98. God. That adds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 extra games.
Johnson completed that
And
pass.
2 of them
The
would be
play
set in the year
covered 7
2006.
yards.
And it gets +1 every year anyway, because I go back and play the most recent version. In 365 years, I'm never going to get to the new game.
Third down, Rams.
For their sake, I hope the offense doesn't overthink the play call.
Third quarter's over
They need to
already.
Keep it simple and
What
just
happened?
move
You
the
tell me
chains.
in the comments
That's
below.
it for the third
We were learning
quarter.
about MLB The Show. It's an educational stream. 6-3 here. 85 to 59 yards.
The 46.
Third
The
down.
Rams with the ball.
Man in motion.
I'm gonna have to write charts and graphs and stuff for
He drops back.
who's
to
okay.
pass.
So this is the division leader.
The ball hit him in the hands, but he couldn't hold on to it.
I bet the quarterback wants
These
to
are the
wring his neck for
division
dropping
leaders
that
going
ball.
into week 16. These are the 3 with the best record below it.
4th and
How
2
does
for the
this?
Rams.
How does this shuffle? How is this gonna work?
It's fourth down.
Apparently,
don't know.
they're in the mood to gamble.
I think the
They're going
AFC
for it
Central
on
might be the
4th
most
down.
interesting division because it's so cluttered between the first 5
Johnson will
teams.
throw. That's a
The
first down
East
for the
might
Rams.
get 2
The pass was
teams
caught
in,
by Reed.
Moving
Patriots
the chains
and
is
Bills.
priority number 1 for the offense.
and the
Harris wrapped
West
him up.
might get 2 teams in as well. And so it could just be a
First
Central
down, Rams.
division winner gets in, and then 3 other teams that, or 3 to 4 other teams that post good records miss out. It's that would remind me of when Tom Brady went down with an injury towards ACL. Then they had the Tom Brady
Running
rule
room. He picked up 4
implemented.
yards.
They went 11-5 that year and missed the playoffs because the Bills
Second
and
down,
the
Rams.
Jets, or no, I'm sorry, the Dolphins and the Jets,
Second and 6.
each went 11-5, but had a better division record or something, and that was what pushed them over.
He drops back to pass.
Which is also a good argument against a division winner. That should have been
ball is knocked
intercepted. How are there
away by a
4
defender.
Saints defenders there, and they did not pick that ball off? Interesting argument to be had against division winners winning an automatic playoff spot. 2 losing teams
Just
have made
under 4
the
minutes
playoffs.
left in this game. Third
Seattle
down,
and Washington.
Rams.
It's third down.
And Washington was 6-10, and it was not good. Seattle was 7-9. Obviously showed some life. That was the Beastquake year.
The quarterback drops
Beat
back
the
to
defending
pass.
champions Saints.
He pulls it in.
All kinds of
Huge
time
pickup
there.
for the
First down
Rams.
and
That
10. The
was a
Saints
gain
defense
of
not really holding up
14
their end of the
yards.
bargain.
I love plays
Is this a
like
game that could cost them a chance at the playoffs? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. Every Tuesday right here, youtube.com/Shaunosaurus. Sometimes
down,
Wednesday.
St.
It
Louis.
depends. It depends on how YouTube is feeling that day. I usually start video uploads before I go to bed, and I just cross my fingers that they're done by the time I'm up and getting ready for work. I come out, I check them, and I go, okay, what else do I need to upload anything?
The receiver was
And then I
tackled for
do
a
the same
loss on that
process.
play. It's second and
Just leave my
13.
laptop on, and
What
it's
the
like,
heck
all
kind of
right,
pass play was that?
go
They
ahead
lost
and
yardage.
Bailey
upload
made
this
the
video for the
tackle.
next 8
He
hours.
brought him down at the 29.
It doesn't usually take 8 hours, but it does not like uploading more than one video at one time.
Second and 13.
Single back formation.
Even if it's a smaller video, like a taste test, it's oof, I don't know if I can do 2 of these.
Downfield. The pass was
I
caught
don't
by
know.
McKnight. It was a gain of 4 yards.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Third down, Rams.
Well, they got a lot of yards to pick up on this third down, Dick. They better throw it and throw it well.
Johnson is going to pass.
Oh, how did he miss
The
that?
pass
How did he
was
miss that
caught by
interception?
Reed. It was a gain
Rob
of 8
Johnson,
yards.
13 and 20,
Johnson
even
is
100
completing
yards.
better than 60% of his passes today.
Pretty
He's
good.
having a
Pretty
lot
good
of success.
completion
That's just a great percentage.
percentage. That's the word.
That was the 2-minute warning.
Play is
First
stopped
and
with a 2-minute
10,
warning.
St. Louis.
First and 10.
Man in motion. He drops back to pass. The pass was caught by Smith. It was a gain of 5 yards.
pass was caught by
the
Smith.
stop was by Smith. Timeout.
I did see an
called by
article
home
the other
team.
day
New
going
Orleans
around
still
about,
has 2 timeouts. Second down, Rams.
Steam was picking up for a blockbuster trade regarding Aaron Rodgers. I should look into that. That's what I'd like to do. I kind of like to take Madden 22 or 23, I guess I should. Yeah, Madden 23, and do something with that. Is that Sean Alexander?
First down, St. Louis.
It's first and goal.
Or is that Strong?
Allen is looking
Oh, Allen, right up the gut.
made it into the end zone
James
for a
Allen,
touchdown.
7 carries,
Guys
17
made that
yards.
play look easy.
First
one
rushing
touchdown?
of the day for
I
Allen.
would just like to throw out Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm just looking through. I'm scrolling through the scores on the score app. 11-2 over the Detroit Red Wings. What?
The Rams line up for the point after touchdown. It's in the air.
They ended with an even
the
number of
kick is
shots,
good.
but the Penguins scored 9 more goals. That's wild. Wonder how quick. So how quickly was this one out of hand? Looks like it was 6-0, 6-2,
St. Louis will put
7-2 at the end of
the
the second period. Then they just poured 4 more in for
The kickoff
some
is
reason.
in the air. McGarity starts upfield. That
let's see.
return
Let's
was
see if we can
worth
find that
24 yards.
It's like just a random thing in like Google notifications. What would be interesting
The drive begins at the 32.
is to see if you could orchestrate a trade,
First and 10.
Single
even
back
with
formation.
like a hypothetical trade, and just kind of see where
They're
it
going to throw.
diverges.
Orders
You know what I mean?
fail
Like
to make the catch.
Aaron Rodgers is going to
Drop that one.
Pittsburgh, whatever. Who cares? He was going to Pittsburgh for the following, like these numbers of picks,
Second
and like
down, Saints.
start at like the draft in the next year and try and figure out how you would like rebuild that team and create like an alternate reality sort of thing. I find that stuff very,
Man
very
in motion.
fascinating. And obviously with top-notch simulation in the Madden
Catches the
gameplay,
ball.
or in the Madden video
A
games,
short gain on that pass to McGarity.
it's obviously very doable. Let's see.
Third down, Saints.
Those boys on the defensive line are getting ready to explode out of the blocks.
Favre will throw. That play covered 7 yards.
just want
That was
one.
enough for a first down for the Saints.
Let's see.
Defense needs to check themselves. That was too easy up front.
First down, Saints.
First and
Don't let
10.
me get you on my side of the field.
Favre will throw.
Oh, that
Pass
should have been
went
an
for a
interception.
gain
He
of
was in
7
perfect
yards.
position to pick that
The
pass
receiver
off.
was McGarity, tackled by Greer. This ball game is nearly over. Second down, Saints.
Second and 3.
Kind of hoping.
The quarterback drops back to pass. Excellent effort
Nice
by
catch
the
there.
Saints.
Number 85 is one of the most reliable guys in the NFL.
Timeout called by the home team. They have no timeouts left. First down, New Orleans.
Let's see. See if we can find something trade rumor wise. Here's how much the Steelers. Steelers Titans was the other one. That one was that was an interesting destination
Going to throw.
because he bought some stuff down there.
That's caught.
Oh, that's a touchdown. There you go. Tim Brown, 1 reception, 38 yards and a tutty.
Distance of the lead. That's his first touchdown catch of the day.
But we'll see.
That's
I kind of wanted to look at that last year with quite a bit of rumors about quarterbacks going different places. The two that I thought were the most interesting were Aaron Rodgers to Denver,
And it's good.
which is kind of ironic because the next part of it was going to be Russell Wilson to Chicago. I thought it'd be cool to look at that, but I just never did anything with it. I don't know if we ever had. I don't know if they ever like
The Saints
anything ever
lined
leaked
up
about
for
what
an
they
onside
could
kick.
or would offer.
The kickoff is in the air.
It's gonna be illegal
Orleans comes
touching.
up with the ball.
Oh, just kidding. Apparently that went 10 yards. I thought all right.
It's first down at the
Wow.
38.
Okay, 1st and 10. They're down by 3.
First and 10.
It's Hail Mary or nothing here. This was probably a really interesting game for me to talk through. I know everybody. God, this game's decision making doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the Rams. We're gonna move up the standings here. I don't know who won the first game, who won the first meeting between these two teams. It's actually possible that we had that meeting. Whoops. On this.
Rod and I have picked
Show
a player of the
1, 3,
game,
5,
and we're
and
giving
6.
our
Let's see.
Wilson game ball
1,
to Allen.
3, 5.
Let's take a look at the Taco Bell highlight reel, spotlighting key plays from this game.
We did not have the previous game in this. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm blocking the Taco Bell. I apologize.
Here's a look at the stats. Well, this one is over, and on behalf of Ron and myself, thanks for joining us. Be sure to come back real soon and play NFL Fever again.
Okay. Well, we will be sure to play NFL Fever, and by play, you mean watch. We'll be doing that. Let's go back. I'm gonna pop a quick save real quick. A quick save quickly. Bam. Yes. All. Bar. It's wild that it says 50,000 blocks and you never like make a dent in it because it's like 8 gigs. It's like it's a very large amount of storage. Here's what we want to do. We're going to take a look at the standings. We're going to look at the East. The NFC East has the Cowboys. Bam. None of those other teams are going to contend for it. Who cares? We have the Packers currently in first. The Bears right there in second. We have the Rams. Packers, Rams, Cowboys. Packers, Rams, Cowboys. Now, if we flip over here to the NFC, we have the Packers, we have the Rams, and we have the Cowboys. So we have 1, 3, and 5, actually. So then the following 3 would be the Bears, the Bucks, and the Saints. Interesting. So the Vikings would just miss out? Weird that works out, that it's actually the group anyway. In the AFC, this is where it might get interesting. We have the Bills, the Ravens, Bills, Ravens, Raiders. Bills, Raiders, Ravens. So I guess it would just be the top kind of clump. Because it would be... Yeah, Bills, Raiders, Ravens. I guess the only difference would be if a team outside the 6 was a division leader. Which I guess theoretically could happen. Okay, so maybe it's not... I'm not as far off as I thought. It kind of works out in my favor that we have the Bills, the Raiders, and the Ravens. And then it would be Kansas City, New England, and Seattle in those next 3 spots. So... Okay. Yeah, not as... the Jaguars would still miss out. All right. Speaking of the Jaguars, I believe that's where we're going next. Or we're going to watch the Jaguars. Something happen here. Just kidding. We're going to watch the Steelers game. Oh, God. Sorry. That was a loud one. I apologize. Steelers and Ravens, the AFC Central. A wild mess. You saw the standings. You got 2 teams at the top, 3 teams in the middle, and 1 team at the bottom. 8 and 5 in the first spot, 7 and 6 or 7 and 5, 7 win teams. Bam, bam, bam. and then 3-win
And
Bengals.
now to share his thoughts
Two
on
8-win
this
teams are
encounter,
playing 2
I'm
of the
going to
7-win
turn it over
teams.
to
We could see some
former
shuffling,
NFL
could see
player
some
Ron
reordering.
How you doing,
Let's find
fans?
out what we have here
Who
with
are
the
the guys to
Ravens
watch?
and the
This
Steelers.
is
Then
someone
we'll
I
check
like
in
to
on the
watch. He's got all the tools
Bengals,
that
nope,
define
the
great
Browns,
defense.
and
Make
the
no mistake
Jaguars.
about it, this guy
And
can
then
flat out
we'll be
play.
ending Bills, Patriots.
Teams have to play Mark
So I think the
Goodell
playoff
carefully
race
because he can
simultaneously
hit you with
more
his arm
and less
and
interesting.
his legs.
I understand
And
it better.
he's lefty.
I'm glad that it kind of is like, hey, the
Reaction
top 6 teams, they'll just be reseeded in a different way.
Thanks, Ron. The
But it's not
referees
like
at midfield
it's
with
not
the
like
captains for
the
coin
Cowboys are 5-8, you know, and then they're gonna kick a team out with a good record, you know, that sort of thing. I do think it'll be interesting as we wind down the weeks. 2 more weeks here before we jump into the playoffs. So playoffs starting April 19th. That'll be the wild card weekend. Well, we might have 2. No,
Baltimore
no.
is ready to kick it deep.
I think 4 teams. I think 8 games for some reason. Or 8 teams, 8 games. Sorry, not 8 teams, 4 games.
This game is underway.
Wild card weekend on the 19th. We'll move on to the
Looks for running room.
divisional on the 26th, and then the 3rd, May
Kickoff
3rd.
return covered
We'll blow it all out. We'll do
3.
2
Return man won
championship
that round
games.
big. The
We'll
offense
even
gotta
watch the
start
Pro
off
Bowl
with
just for
really
fun,
good field position.
just to end the season on a positive note. And the Super Bowl will be in there as the 3rd game, because I
First
can't do the
down,
4th without the
Pittsburgh.
3rd, and it's a whole mess.
1st and 10.
So
4 receivers in the game
There you
for
go.
Pittsburgh.
give each playoff game its own video. For the next 46 weeks, you're going to be watching
Drops like that will
the
make
NFL
coach pull his hair
playoffs.
out.
It'll run
If he's got
just
any
like
Here's a look at
the NBA
offensive
playoffs.
starters
It'll take
for the
forever. Shannon
Steelers.
Sharp, great follow on Twitter. If you don't follow Shannon Sharp on Twitter, I love it. Doug Flutie in the backfield for the Steelers.
It's 2nd down.
2nd down.
Flutie looks downfield.
Flutie loved the throw here on the outside. Got him on the
16
got
yards.
him on that shoulder.
Play.
That'll be a good play
Under
for
screen are
Pittsburgh
the names of
as
the
they open up their
defensive
drive here
starters
in
for
Baltimore, getting that first down.
First down.
I wonder if somebody went back. They like paused the video, went back, and looked at the standings, and they're like, "Oh, nothing's really going to change here." The 6 teams that are in the top 6 slots, they're going to make the playoffs regardless
Man in motion.
of who. Like, it's just going to be a seeding reshuffling. Then there's me. Fast forward through the end of that game, it's going like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I can't believe it, man. You telling me that the 6 seeds are going to be the same,
2nd down.
just in a
Steelers.
different order? What?
2nd and 8.
Good stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
It's a run. That was a short gain by Neal.
That's all you got, man?
3rd down. Steelers.
Let's see. Let's
3rd
see.
and 6.
Pittsburgh is going with split backs.
Pittsburgh, 3rd down and 6 here. I've been starting sentences off with "let's see" and like "all right" a lot. Ooh, absolutely demolished in the backfield.
You can blame that sack on the offensive line for not
That's
blocking, and the receivers
Great
not
defensive
getting
stop
open.
for the Ravens. The Ravens, a team I'm hoping for a bounce back year from. They almost made the
4th
playoffs.
down,
They were riddled by
Steelers.
injuries. I'm hoping that they're good. I love Lamar Jackson. I want to see him. I want to see him play. I want to see him play well.
The punt is in the air.
I want to see him back in that.
Moles starts upfield.
I guess it would have been 2020 season.
Moles returned the punt.
They went what
That
14
return
and
was
2 or
worth
whatever. Maybe it was
11
even 21.
yards. Here's a look at the offensive starters for Baltimore.
It's a disappointing finish to the season for that team that went 14 and 2, had the number 1 seed, and I believe lost to the Titans. The Titans, who play a game of football that's basically we're going to run the ball and just make sure that the clock
Drive
goes as
begins
fast as
at the
possible.
26.
And they are speed running football. Speaking of speed running football, there are actual speed run categories for football games.
The quarterback drops back to pass. Number 49 got the ball and a first down. That was a nice play. It was worth 11 yards.
Now that was a classy play.
On your screen are the names of
Kind of
the
what I did with the
defensive
Washington
starters
State
for
Cougars
Pittsburgh.
when I did the couple of seasons of that. Where it's just like, keep it moving, run the ball, and just as quickly as possible.
It's 1st and 10.
1st and 10.
Brunell looks downfield. The defense gets to the quarterback and he's sacked.
The line's either got to give him enough
Good
time
defensive
to throw,
plays here
or
by
no
both
time to say a
sides.
prayer.
Second down, Ravens.
Second down and 15 after the 5-yard loss.
50.
Anderson runs it. There was nothing there
no.
for the halfback.
It looked good. It looked like it was well
What a play by
blocked,
the
but
defense.
the
That
game
was
just kind of gives up after a while.
Jordan made the tackle. He brought him down.
I'm
at
done
the
blocking now.
34.
You may go through.
Third down, Ravens.
What do you mean he got injured?
3rd and 14.
What do you mean? Oh, by the way, last week, I believe it was last week, I was looking up the Blu-ray release dates because that's always exciting for everyone. Not only was the Jackass Forever date confirmed with the 40 minutes of extra footage, but it's actually on Paramount Plus right now.
You know, a drop pass helps the
Right now,
defense
you can
almost
watch
as much
Jackass
as an
Forever,
interception.
which is about a little under 2 months since it came out, which I am fine with.
4th down.
I am perfectly
Ravens are
fine.
going to
Came
punt
out,
the
I
ball
think,
away.
like February 4th or 11th or something like that.
Gardocki
After it
gets
got
the
delayed,
kick away.
Bam Margera tried to like
Heath calls for a
cancel
fair
it.
catch.
Not like that, but like tried to get the release canceled because he had like problems with the cast and sued a bunch of people because they kicked him off and fired him and blah blah blah.
The drive begins at the 17.
So
1st and 10.
I don't think that was ever really the main reason. Obviously, he got pushed back twice because of COVID. Still turned out really well.
He found room to
Really,
run.
really,
He
like
picked up
genuinely
6 yards.
great movie. The funniest thing is looking at the thermometer scores for those movies, and it just slowly creeping up to
Second
being
down,
certified fresh
Steelers.
for the fourth one. But I do think that the fourth one has a level of.
Rudy, we gonna tap dance on your
It doesn't
face,
have
brother.
like the gross out stunts as much. It's more just like
Flutie looks
a group of dumb
downfield.
friends. Oh my gosh, what an interception! Diving interception off a tip
That
ball
interception was
by
Brown.
Cornell Brown. Lost 3 yards, but that's okay when you get the pick.
Chilton made the
Um,
tackle. First pick
I
in
think
this
its
game
pacing
for
is
Brown.
really
Now
good. I don't think
that's how
anything
you
ever
help
really
your
lasts
team.
too long. But I also think that just
First
like
down, Ravens.
it's like a group of friends just like messing around with each other and like pranking and doing dumb crap and whatever, but nothing's ever really like there's no paper cut-esque
Man in motion.
portion of it. There's no,
Brunell drops. It's a sack.
I don't know what
And
some of the
that's a
grosser
loss
ones
of
in the
5
like
yards.
the other one,
Defense
the other
schemed
movies
that
were.
up perfectly. That led to the sack.
I don't know. I feel like it's just it's
Second and
really
16
good.
for Baltimore.
I don't know. It's
2nd and 16.
man, it's good. We were kind of just like flipping through it the other day because I just wanted to watch like one specific part, and we stopped a couple of different times. Like, oh, we really like this stunt, or we really like
There was
this
no gain.
Dick, the defensive guys are going to go off when
this
they see that
prank
one.
or whatever.
Jordan
Like the
is
snake
credited
one,
with
really
the
good,
tackle.
really good.
Third down,
And it just shows like a mastery of like people knowing how others operate, where they specifically put people in like sets, and it's just like, yeah, we put
We played one
it's
quarter
I think
and
it's
nothing's been resolved.
Danger
We're
Aaron
still
and
scoreless.
Dave England. They put those two together because they just argue like an old married couple, and it is so good.
Third down, Ravens.
Anyway, Yeah, that got confirmed for that. So I'm gonna buy 2 movies that day. It's mid-April. I think it's April 16th. I'm gonna buy 2 movies that day. I'm gonna buy an art house movie based off like a Tony Award winning play
Gain of 3 yards.
called The Humans, and then I'm gonna buy Jackass Forever and watch the extra 40 minutes of content that's on that disc.
4th down at the 29.
Which the Beeb mistakenly said 40 hours of content. I was like, okay, that's too much. They probably did shoot 40 hours of content for that movie.
On its way. And it's good.
I can't imagine how much footage they have of that
We know they wanted a touchdown, but you know what?
when they film those movies. A Red Rocket, is that a?
Baltimore will put the ball in play. Grammatica.
So we have another field goal game here. Ravens over the Steelers, 3-0. That one is booted out of the stadium, or out of the field of play. And that'll be first down and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
First down, Pittsburgh.
1st and 10.
This time the defense lines up in a 34 front.
If you can do it right, there's some huge holes to run the football.
Flutie will pass.
Doug Flutie, all kinds of time into double coverage, tipped and incomplete. Thought that might have been an interception with the way that got tipped away. Just right into
Second down,
a
Steelers.
couple of defenders there.
2nd down.
Man in motion. The clock's been stopped because there's a penalty.
False start.
Because there's a penalty.
Second down, Steelers.
2nd and 15.
$15 on Amazon. I should buy Red Rocket. I liked most of the Florida Project.
Neal has the ball.
I like 98%
There's
of
a
the
flag
Florida
on the
Project.
play.
Holding.
I did think about when when the Batman came out, I was gonna tweet because I knew
He was hauled out
what was gonna
after
happen at the
getting
end of
back
that
to the line
movie.
of scrimmage.
I knew that I knew what was gonna happen. You know what I mean?
That was Booker. He made the
If you've seen it,
tackle at the
you'll know what I'm
15.
talking about. That
Third
the
down,
scenes towards the end of that movie is like it's so obvious that they're gonna do that because they just can't help themselves.
Flutie
Similar
looks
to the way
downfield.
that Joker can't help
It's a sack.
itself.
And
And
that's a loss
not
of
just
6
being a
yards.
terrible movie, but like the inclusion of other elements that are completely irrelevant / real stupid. But I did think about tweeting that like, oh, the Batman has the worst ending I've seen since the Florida Project, or something along those lines. The Florida
About
Project,
4 minutes left in this half.
man, what an
Fourth
incredible
down,
movie
Steelers.
right up until the last like 3
Second
minutes.
punt of the day for Sauerbrook.
I had never been so sour on an ending of a movie before. How have we not had a block punt yet?
Moles calls for a
Fair catch. They're going to have amazing starting field position. Great job by the Baltimore defense to force Pittsburgh further and further back, and so they get the ball right around midfield. If I remember correctly,
down,
Baltimore has the
Baltimore.
upper hand as far as the records are concerned.
1st and 10.
So we would need
One back set.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh to win. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and you could throw Tennessee in there as well.
Looks downfield. Brunell keeps
If
the
you
ball.
wanted ultimate
Good
AFC
work by the Ravens.
Central
Excellent.
chaos, you're rooting for the Steelers, you're rooting for the Browns, and you're rooting for the Titans, who we won't be watching,
First
but we'll
down,
check their score out
Baltimore.
later in the show. Just like that, the Ravens in Pittsburgh territory. I almost confused myself. Oh my goodness, a total breakdown in the defense. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Molds is the
Pittsburgh.
That's his first touchdown catch of the day.
He reared back and fired that as quickly as possible. A miscommunication on the back end of the Pittsburgh defense. Could this sink the Steelers?
It looks like the offense will kick the extra point. It's in
I
the
should
air.
tweet at the winning quarterback and be
the
like,
kick is
hey,
good.
you won the Super Bowl. By the way, if you just happen to have a random fantasy draft, You were good.
Baltimore
Mail them
will
a fake
put the
plastic
ball in
ring that
play.
you get out of like a 25-cent machine.
There's the kick. Coles looks for running room.
Oh, he has a lot of
kickoff
running room.
return
He
covers
danced
30
around a little
yards.
too much. The coverage team collapses on him, and that'll be it. Shoot.
It's first down at the 39.
First and 10.
Man in motion. It's a run. Paul lost a couple of yards there.
I would love to be in that offensive huddle after that fiasco.
Rice is credited with the tackle.
No, stop. I don't want.
Second
Oh,
down,
Magnolia
Steelers.
selects. That sounds like a thing that would like.
Second and 12.
Split backs
Can you not
for the
just buy
Steelers.
movies on Blu-ray anymore, please?
Flutie will throw. A short gain on that pass to Neal.
Oh man, did I hurt you like that?
I'd love to watch. So Sean Baker's made, I believe he's directed
Third
3
down,
movies.
Steelers.
He directed
But he could try
Tangerine, which
something
I
tricky.
want to say was like the
a
first movie ever
reverse
just
or a
shot on an
flea flicker,
iPhone.
But saying a prayer wouldn't hurt either.
He did the Florida Project, which I recommend people watch.
Flutie drops.
Even though I hated the ending, I thought that it's
Jackson
it's
got a
a
hand
really
on
good
that
movie.
pass.
If Willem Dafoe, and this is not a negative towards Willem Dafoe in it at all, it's actually a positive for how good the rest of the movie is. If Willem Dafoe was not in that movie, you
Fourth
could have convinced
down,
me that it was
Steelers.
a documentary.
Sauerbrunn is averaging over 40
I should
per
watch
kick
that.
today.
I think I bought it. I bought that in like
The
mid-90s,
kick is away.
which were 2 movies that I was like, like, I loved the Florida Project right up until the end, and then mid-90s I was kind of just like, I don't like this movie very much. But I bought them on Blu-ray, and I was like, I'll rewatch it, and I'll see if I still feel the same way. I don't know. I think the last movie that I watched that I didn't like,
First down, Baltimore.
that I liked,
First and 10.
the 3 movies spring to mind. The Big Lebowski, Sin City, Pitch Perfect 1.
Brodell
All
will
3 of
pass.
those movies, Sin City
Rice
probably being
got
the one that I
ball
liked
on
the
a first
least.
down. That was a nice
All
play.
3 of them
It
I
was
wasn't
first
super
10
hot on
yards.
the first time I
like
saw
that.
them, but the more I watched them, the more I was like, okay, I do like this.
First
I was
down,
wrong.
Ravens.
These movies are good. Especially Sin City. I really like Sin City. First one's great. Second one, not good at all. It's bad.
Brunell looks
I just can't think
downfield.
of,
The pass is complete
I don't
to
know.
Ogden.
I feel
He
like
picked
more
up
often than
7
not,
yards.
especially lately, doing like the week in review stuff, I just watch stuff and I go, no, all right, we're good. My feelings were correct.
Second down at the 48.
But I guess you could go back and watch something and go like, hey, I wasn't feeling it the first time, wasn't in the right mindset, mood, whatever.
He's going to throw it.
I just feel like I wouldn't watch it.
The pass was complete to Price.
I didn't want to watch
Before he was tackled, he picked
something.
up
I
enough
guess
for a first down.
That's like
A nice
the
job of throwing
hardest.
and a nice job of catching.
The hardest thing for me is when something feels scheduled. Like, you have to watch this
About
movie
1
on
minute
Tuesday
left
at
in
8
this
p.m.
half.
And
First
my brain
down,
just goes,
Ravens.
nope, not a chance in hell. It could be a screening of Napoleon Dynamite and I just go like, I don't know. Not really feeling it.
Brunell will pass.
You love that movie.
The pressure
You
gets
love
to
that movie.
Brunell. He is
I don't
sacked.
want to watch it.
That looked brutal. My heart goes out to the quarterback. His teammates let him down.
Jordan gets to the quarterback for the second time today.
Obviously, the offense needs to do a better job of blocking this guy.
Mere seconds remain in the first half.
Hopefully.
Second down,
Fingers,
Ravens.
cross your fingers. Folks, cross those fingers. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Brunell looks downfield.
I got to see if I could find
Pass was
a...
caught by Anderson. It was a
like-
gain of 7 yards.
Actually, I should look up the wonderfully created 21 Plus AMC Theater in Seattle.
We've burned through the first half of this game. Our score,
That's the end of the
10-0,
second.
Baltimore.
There's a theater in here that is just 21 plus. If that one has everything everywhere all at once, that'd be
Pittsburgh will put
fantastic.
the ball in play.
Ah, yes. AMC 10.
There's the kick.
Oh, they only have...
That's a touchback. That
Oh,
kick
that's...
covered
Ooh,
70
that's pretty
yards.
far up there. Whoops.
Wow, that was a great kick. He really stepped into that one.
The drive begins at
Why,
the 20.
why do you need... I hate using this.
Brunel looks for a
Moving,
receiver.
throwing. We're going to have a hold penalty.
Everything. There's a penalty marker on the
Did you
field.
mean AMC Seattle 10? No, I didn't. I meant the
Hey, these fans
one that
are
I
upset.
literally select.
And what kind of hand signals are those?
First down, Ravens.
Trying to see. Showtime.
Anderson runs
Oh,
it.
okay. You just had to make it current.
Fifth tackle in this game now, recorded by Jordan.
Oh, they got that You Won't Be Alone. That folk horror movie's going to be there.
Second down, Ravens.
And they have showtimes for
Second and 17.
Hey, Brunel, you better
adults 21 and over only. God, that sounds awesome.
There's a marker on the
Sounds
field.
great.
False start against the offense.
Oh my goodness. Second down and 22. Steelers choose.
Second down, Ravens.
Second and 22.
We're coming after you.
No, I just meant like Seattle.
Brunel will throw. Brunel completed that pass. The play covered 7 yards.
Oh, I think they added some showtimes to that.
Third down, Ravens.
Oh, cool. You can see Morbius.
Baltimore has 4
I can't think of a
receivers.
movie that, like, I am less interested than Morbius.
Brunel will pass.
Oh, Brunel, you had him in the flat. He was so open, but you just stood there and you're like, yeah, sack me. Go ahead, hit me.
I don't blame
Hit
him
me.
for being hot after that.
He's like, I'm the Joker. Give me my Oscar.
Fourth down at the 8.
Fourth down and
Second punt of the
22.
day for Dardaki.
Oh my goodness. Just when I had complimented the Pittsburgh, or the Baltimore defense rather,
The kick
for
is
backing
away.
the Steelers up and up and up to give themselves good field position.
Looks for
The
running
Steelers
room.
defense comes through and gives themselves fantastic field position and a terrific punt return on top of it. He's going to get
Return
way
the punt. That
in
return
to
was
Baltimore
worth
territory
23
inside the
yards.
30-yard
The
line.
offense is walking on the field.
They're
and
like
they
starting
have
in
to be
field goal
loving
range.
life right
That
now.
is
They're
good
already in
news
field
for
goal range.
the Steelers
That
offense. And if
return
you're rooting
gave
for
them
that
the perfect
ultimate
world.
chaos as we wind the regular season down with more and more nonsensical talk throughout these games. Do you need to know the showtimes for
Drive
movie
begins
theaters
at the
in the
28.
Seattle area?
First and 10.
Let me know. I'll tell you. I don't even live in Seattle. Just going to visit there.
Paul is the runner. He found room to
Nice run off the
He
left
picked up
side.
4
Second
yards.
down and medium coming up.
Second down, Steelers.
Second and 6.
Man in motion.
Pitch out to the right side. All kinds of room. All kinds of speed. He's going for the corner of the end zone. He turned into a defender. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown.
Buck is big.
Oh
and he can
my
run.
goodness.
You the man, baby.
Questionable decision by one of the best running backs in the game.
First down, Pittsburgh.
First and goal.
Pittsburgh will go from the I formation. He's going to throw it.
Oh, we got
Looney
tackled in the
is
backfield.
sacked.
Oh, that's not what you
He
want to see.
lost 3 yards.
Boy, it scares me to see a quarterback go down like that. He really took a shot that time.
Second down, Steelers.
Second and
One
goal.
back set. Man in motion. Falk with the ball. That play was shut down for a loss of 1 yard.
Was that a bad
Keep in
play
mind,
by the
Marshall Falk had a
offensive line?
clear path to the
Tackled by
end
Lewis.
zone, to the corner of the end zone, and ran into a defender. They should have already scored,
The offense
done,
needs
been
to
off
put
the
it in end
field.
zone here. It's
Instead,
third
it
and
is a
goal.
3rd and goal from the 8-yard line.
It's a pass. Flutie was sacked.
No,
lost 7
he
yards.
got
I think the quarterback
crushed,
needs to have a little
absolutely
talk with his offensive line.
destroyed in
They
the
need to find a way
backfield.
to be more effective.
Oh,
He's gonna get killed.
Schulter
Pittsburgh,
gets to the
no,
quarterback for the second
not like
time
this.
today.
Obviously, the offense needs to do a better
I like that the
job of
players
blocking
get
this
blurred
guy.
because it's like trying to force
Fourth
perspective.
down,
But
Steelers.
like, oh, you know how like things in the foreground are focused and the background's unfocused.
It's in the air.
We should incorporate that in our video game. Yeah, just blur up once they get to this
Scoring
point.
drive covered 12 yards.
Look at that beautiful run in the red, and then just immediately backwards. 2 sacks,
We're waiting
taking him
for the kickoff
out
by
of contention for the
Steelers.
touchdown, but a poor decision by Marshall Falk even
The
before
kickoff is
that.
in the air. Glenn looks for running room.
Step on the
That's a
baseline.
touchback. The ball
Speaking
will
of
be
camera
brought
shots
out
that
to
are
the 20-yard
unnecessarily
line.
out of focus, how about that Batman deleted scene? It's terrible. Everything
begins
I
at the
don't
20.
like about... Actually, I shouldn't say everything.
First and 10.
It sucks. It's so bad. Any other character, please, for the love of God. Any other character.
He drops back to pass.
You have so
The
many
pass is
villains.
incomplete.
So many of them. Calendar Man, Condiment King. Bane. Mr. Freeze.
Second down.
Poison
Ravens.
Ivy. Anybody. Anybody.
It's second down.
Two-Face.
Baltimore will
Anybody.
go from the I formation.
Anybody in the world.
Man in motion. Brunell looks downfield. The pass appeared to be on target, but it was dropped.
You gotta wonder what's on a guy's mind. His sole focus and concentration
bad.
should
I-
be catching the ball.
Third
So,
down,
quick thoughts.
Ravens.
If you have not seen The Batman, the scene in question is deleted. It was deleted for a reason. It sucks. It's bad. It is a pretty massive spoiler, though I don't think it's much of a surprise. Ran into his own offensive lineman. We got a big rip-off run over here on the left side. He's going to get across the 50 down to the 45.
Stop. He covered 35 yards.
Are you kidding me?
Back up off me.
I'm going to very quickly tell you about it. I'm not going to spoil anything. 2 things I
First
don't
down,
like about it.
Baltimore.
1 thing I do like about it.
First and 10.
First thing I don't like about it, I hate how it's shot. I think it's awful. I hate the way that they use focus and they make the oh my god, an incredible
That
run.
interception was by
All
Cross.
for nothing.
Quarterback put
Adrian
that
Ross
one
with
up
a
for
beautiful
grabs. He
diving
paid a price
interception.
for it, too.
Ogden
And that'll give
made
the
the
Pittsburgh
tackle.
Steelers
He
the
brought
ball
him down
right
at the
back.
25.
Looked like the
First
Baltimore
pick in this
Ravens were going to maybe
game
kick a
for
field
Ross.
goal.
Now that's how you
Try and
help
put
your
this game a
team.
little
The
further out
drive
of
begins
reach.
at the
I didn't
25.
realize how much time was still left in the game before I started that sentence. Wow. What a turn. Pittsburgh all kinds of time and riding the momentum from their
Flutie
previous
with
drive.
pass.
That's right.
Nice
Momentum.
work by
It's
the
a real thing.
quarterback and
I'm
the
just kidding.
receiver.
It's
The
not.
play went 13
I
yards.
hate how
Flavorful play.
scene of the Batman is shot. I think it's terrible. I think it's really annoying. It's artsy, fartsy, annoying garbage. And I don't like it because I think it's stupid. But then they choose to put the character in focus at the end anyway. So it's like, who cares? Like, why are you doing this for so long? Number 2, I just don't like. I don't like the.
First
I don't like
and
the character
10,
choice.
Pittsburgh.
We don't need them. We don't need them. We don't need them. They don't have to be in this world at all. They don't. So many other villains that you could use. So many others.
He's going to throw it.
But the one thing I do like, and this is something that I enjoyed about the film just in general, and I think is an interesting concept taken to
down,
maybe
Steelers.
its most. This might be a little bit of a
Second down.
exaggeratory word, but its most extreme measure. Throughout the Batman, the coolest part is A, watching Batman be a detective, but B, who he accepts help from. He talks to Alfred, he talks to Gordon, hell, he even talks to like the Penguin. He works with Catwoman. Like, he's all over the map, and I think that it's interesting that he would go, okay,
Third down, Steelers.
you know what? I'm trying to profile this person. I'm trying to figure out who they are, what they want, what they're doing, why they're doing it, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go somewhere where I know they might recognize some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Fascinating example. I think it would have been more interesting if it was a different character that he went to. I guess
First down, Steelers.
I guess this would be like a spoiler alert. What if he had gone to Dr. Harleen Quinzel? You know, and it doesn't have to be Margot Robbie. I know she kind of has the lock on that character right now. But what if we watched more of her downfall? I do understand that the immediate backlash to that, and as I said it, I was like, oh shit, this is dumb. Separating her from any sort of like the abusive relationship dynamic of the Joker is like the best thing they could have done for her. However, I do think that they are smart enough, and I'm not trying to be like a backhanded compliment or anything. I do think that there is a way to work in that. You know, they can still put her at Arkham. They can still have her, you know, be a psychologist that breaks or whatever. Who cares? You can do it in a better way than how they typically do it. But why was that not picked off? But what if that was the case? You know, they give it to he gives it to her, and she goes, I don't know, never seen this before, whatever. But I did like that, you know, hey, Batman's going to go detect, and he's going to help and ask for help for a lot of people, and he's going to be, you know, on the ground. He even, at a couple of points, kind of investigates more as like the Bruce Wayne thing. God, what a great 3/4 of a movie that's utterly derailed by the final 30 minutes. Yeah. I also, so I watched this scene posted on
only one running back.
Thursday, which is a day I have off. So usually when I have off days, I'll tune in and I'll see what kind of fun he's doing. I don't always watch games daily, but I do check out the streams pretty frequently. The morning streams with Mike and the boys, and sometimes Joey Noah. What a delightful presence. Joey's great. So I actually got to watch them react to this. I watched them do it live. You can watch it on YouTube. Which I'm kind of surprised it went up in that context, because I feel like that's just a massive copyright problem. But I guess maybe WB kind of gets it a little more than some of the other movie studios, Disney, of just being like, hey, we're going to build buzz about this and do this thing. But Tim Getty said the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard him say. And I don't watch all the kind of funny content, but they were talking about that. And I guess spoilers for this brief moment. He said that in that scene, because the Joker is behind bars, that we won't see him. Like, the Joker's been dealt with. It's done. He's in Arkham. Or something along those lines. And I was like, absolutely not. In a much more vulgar way. But it's just like, bull blanking blank. Not a chance. You're taking their best known villain, the villain that has like all this momentum and people love and blah, 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 blah. And you're telling me that they're going to make 1-2 more of these movies and he's not going to be the focal point? The focal villain? Ludicrous. 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 The dumbest thing in the world.
Left in this game. Play has been stopped for
drives me
today's
nuts.
final 2-minute warning. First down, Ravens.
2-minute warning. First and 10.
The quarterback drops back to pass. That
Ooh,
was a gain
tackled
of
after the
11
first down.
yards.
That was a nice play.
That was Westbrook.
Game
He made the
10-3 here.
tackle
Ravens
at the
still leading
31.
by 7.
Timeout called by the visitors. Pittsburgh still has one timeout left. First down, Baltimore.
First and 10.
Anyway, that scene sucks. I don't like the performance of the villain character, and it's completely unnecessary that they're even there.
Has the ball. That
It's
was
terrible.
a short gain by the
Terrible,
fullback.
terrible, terrible.
Tackled by Price.
Timeout.
Timeout called
Anyway,
by
that's
the
enough about
visitors.
the Batman.
They have no timeouts
Well,
left.
maybe. I don't know. I hope.
Second down,
I don't know if
Ravens.
I've said this in this series, so I apologize
Second and
if I have. Bear with me just for a quick
Baltimore
moment.
lines up in
Original cut of the
formation.
Batman is actually 4 hours long. I think maybe that was like the test cut or whatever.
Runs it.
I would love to see the director's cut.
That'll be a
I really
loss.
would. I don't know
coach thinking about
how
when he called
the
that
deleted
play?
scene works in context. Obviously, you know,
Third down,
in the
Ravens.
flow of the movie, you'd have that scene somewhere in there. It's a really good scene to cut because he doesn't really get a whole lot of
The
information.
offense is going to
Like,
consume as much time as possible.
Kind of, I guess, but like there isn't much to gain from that scene, so it makes sense to cut it. But I would love to see what else they cut because I think they have such a good 2.5 hour movie in there, and it's just what else didn't make it, you know? Oh, pitch to the left side. Pittsburgh.
Anderson lost
What
a couple
on
of
earth
yards
was
there.
that tackle?
Defense put the clamps
What
on
was that
Nice
tackle?
work.
That was
Oh, we're gonna get a
Fuller. He
replay
made
of
the
it.
tackle at the 33.
What an incredible tackle! What an animation! Holy
Fourth
moly!
down, Ravens. Gardocki is
Fourth down
averaging
and
over
12.
40 yards per kick today.
Here, I would kick the field goal. I was gonna say they better not. They better not kick this ball with 30 seconds remaining. Pittsburgh's still gonna have a chance. I get that they're gonna try and do the coffin corner here. It doesn't work. This game just doesn't do it consistently enough for me to care about it. You know what I mean? Like, or to think it's a real possibility. I don't know why I said care about it, but
The punt is in the air. Heath calls
perfect
for a fair
example.
catch.
He's gonna get a fair
That
catch
punt
in the
covered
end zone.
32
He's gonna bring it out to the 20-yard line
Solid coverage by
anyway.
the kick team.
Kick the field goal. You're not giving up that much field position if you miss it. If you make it, you put the game away. You put it away.
This ball game is nearly over. The
2
drive
seconds
begins
remain.
At the 20.
First and 10.
The Ravens looking for sole possession momentarily of first place in the AFC Central. I don't know that we have any teams that have.
Quarterback drops back
Oh,
to pass.
well, that's a
Down he goes. He lost 8 yards.
that's a disappointing way to end
Broke down.
that
Quarterback didn't have
that
a
game.
chance.
That's the end of the
All right.
fourth quarter.
Both of them
The
have come
final
down
score,
to
10
the final
3,
play of the
Ravens.
game, or at least late in the game. Teams
Fans
with
on
at
the
least an
screen now
opportunity,
is the
however
winner of the
unrealistic.
Wilson game ball.
2 tackles. That's it. That's what he did to get the Wilson game ball.
And now a look back at some key
Saints
plays
made it
from
close.
This game. It's the Taco Bell highlight reel.
They fell short. Pittsburgh
Take a
fell.
look at
They
the statistics
were
from
close.
This game.
10
That's
to
the end
3,
of our
the
broadcast,
final
and
here.
thanks for tuning in.
193 yards for the
Ron Pitts
Ravens,
and me, Dick
85
Stockton,
total
we'll
offensive
be
yards
seeing you the next time
for
you play
the Steelers.
NFL
The big
Fever.
turning point, I really believe, is that they did not get the touchdown with Marshall Faulk. I don't know why the game is designed like that. For him to have a free and clear path to the end zone and then just run immediately into a defender it makes no sense. However, I say that, and you go back and you watch the Packers game towards the end of the first half, Aaron Jones, for some reason, decided to run into a defender on what should have been a touchdown. So maybe it's not as silly as I think it is. All right, let's get into our next game here. Get into We'll save real quick. Apparently, we've transported back to the magical time of December 22nd, 2001. It's almost Christmas. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. You're on spring break. I meant winter break. I said spring break, and then it took me a minute to figure out what went wrong with that sentence. Taking a quick look here at the AFC Central. That puts the Ravens in first, the Jaguars in second, the Browns in third, Titans, Steelers. Most of these teams have not played yet, but just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. as we move on to our next game, which is going to be the Jaguars and the Browns. I believe Jacksonville was the last team to play Cleveland before Cleveland left to go to Baltimore in the late 90s, and they threw a bunch of garbage on the field.
Welcome to Cleveland.
It was like a whole
We're glad
shebang.
you're here for today's regular season
Wild.
game featuring the Browns and the
So
Jaguars.
here we go.
I'm Dick
Are there
Stockton,
teams that still
and
need
now
to have
share
bye
his
weeks?
thoughts on this encounter, I'm going to turn it over to former NFL player Ron Pitts.
Oh, you know what? It's because the Browns have a tie. That's what it is. That's why it threw me off. Sorry, I got really confused there.
Well, here's your guy. This guy can terrorize
I believe
an
this is the
offense.
first time we've
There's
been in
nothing he
Cleveland.
likes better than stealing a pass.
We've had a bunch of ties in this, which is absolutely
he knows
wild.
The game and understands how, and more importantly, why he's doing things. The Browns came out on the wrong end of a lopsided score the last time these two teams met. But on the other side of the coin, their opponents will be very confident.
This is the first time
If
we've been
we
in
got a
Cleveland.
rematch
They've
on
only
our
been on
hands here,
a
they should be in a nasty mood.
few times
Ron.
previously.
The referee is at midfield with the captains
I haven't
for the
updated
coin
my
toss.
list just yet.
The visiting captain will make
But
the
we've
call.
had the Browns, I believe, 4 times. And they have all been on the road. And we actually saw this matchup in the reverse back in week 6. Nope.
Cleveland wins the toss.
I'm sorry, week 4. Browns at Jacksonville. So you can go back, you can watch that one, see how that one played out. I sure don't remember.
The kick is away,
So
and the game is on.
there you go.
Morton starts upfield. The kickoff return.
One man broke through a whole lot of defenders or blockers and just said, nah, not today. Not a great start for Cleveland as far as their kick return team is concerned. But still, 1st and 10 for Cleveland here. 4:54 in the first quarter. Just in case. Only 6 seconds have gone by, just in case you forgot. Tomlinson, I forgot he was on this team, ran right into his defender, or his offensive lineman. What did we learn earlier? What did we learn? Outside. Don't run into him, okay? Move to the right, left, move to the left, move to the right. Go in the gaps, not into the man, into the gaps.
2nd and 9 for the Browns.
Give it another whirl. 2nd down and 9. Dante Culpepper.
Go from the I formation. Tomlinson has the ball.
There you go. There you go.
Picked up 7 yards.
There you go. See what the best, probably the best running back in this game needs? It's just some guy on a chair 20 years later going, hey, between in the gaps. Latini Tomlinson's like, yeah, I know. Okay? I know.
3rd down, Browns.
The offense must execute here on this 3rd down. They can either
I
run
love
it or
armchair
pass it,
quarterbacks.
but they can't afford to make a small
I
mistake.
just think they know everything and they don't ever know anything. It's great.
It's a run. They're going to
Ooh, I
measure
think
it.
he might have actually gotten tackled across the line. Wow, he did. By half a football.
1st down, Browns.
1st and 10.
So Dante Culpepper leading the Browns out. Looking for a win. Got to keep pace with the Ravens,
Culpepper
who we
will
just saw.
pass.
Oh my goodness. Just kidding. It's actually the Jacksonville Jaguars that need to keep pace with the Ravens, who just won. I got it
That's
flipped.
the kind of play
However,
people will be talking about tomorrow.
Cleveland can make it a little more interesting with a victory here. Sorry, got confused there.
1st down, Cleveland.
Nice throw by Dante Culpepper, Madden 2002 NFL cover star. Madden NFL 2002 cover star. By the way, it's 5:40 in the afternoon. Apparently, I've already gone delirious.
Culpepper looks down.
Culpepper, he ran into his own defender, but the online. Oh my God, the online. That's what I was about to say. Was the online man.
Man, that was sweet.
He ran into the online man checking Twitter years before it was even invented.
First down,
I'm falling
Browns.
apart. Oh my
First
God.
and 10.
The Browns are going to snap the
Oh
ball
my
from
gosh.
the shotgun.
All right.
It's a pass. Hankton catches the ball.
Not a great pass out to the flat.
Something
You know,
tells
probably
me
a worse
that's not
catch.
what the coaches
Maybe
had
just
in
let that
mind
one
when they called
drop.
that play.
The stop.
I mean,
was
I
by Plummer.
appreciate it just because, hey, you're keeping the clock moving. You're making it so that this video keeps
Second down, Browns.
keeps
Just
going,
under
so
2
I
minutes
go
left
less
in
and less
this quarter.
delusional as it goes on.
I formation. Culpepper looks for a receiver.
Oh, nice
Conrad
move to
caught
the left there to
pass.
get out of a
The play
tackle.
covered 8 yards. Third down, Browns.
3rd and 4.
Step outside the pocket and your hips are mine.
Now, by the way, those Blu-rays come out on the 19th, not the 16th. Just in case you were basing your entire Blu-ray buying off of what the hell I'm talking about.
Nope, that's not going to get it. No first
That's
down.
what I'm
The
talking
ball
about.
carrier was brought down by Plummer. 4th down, Browns.
4th and 2.
The kicker is in the game, and it looks like they'll try a field goal.
Oh, we're gonna go for 3 here. A lot of field goals this
Through
week.
the upright
Teams that know each other
the
well,
kick is
keeping
good.
each
That
other in
scoring
check.
drive covered 65 yards. Jacksonville is waiting for the kickoff.
Uh-oh. I think I've frozen my browser.
Hollis kicks the
Uh-oh.
ball.
Uh-oh.
Smith has the ball and starts upfield.
All right, and here's the return.
That return
Jacksonville
was
did
worth
just as
21
poorly
yards.
defending that as
There's the
as
starting
Cleveland
offense
did.
for the Jaguars.
Jeff Blake, Fred Taylor in the backfield. What did I do? What have I done? What have I done? Uh-oh. It's like super frozen.
The drive begins at the 25.
1st and 10.
The good news is that I have an ad that's frozen for Morbius.
Red 48.
So I won't forget that it's in theaters Thursday.
Looks for a receiver.
I'll forget.
He was
Or I'll just
sacked.
pretend it doesn't
He
exist.
lost 4 yards.
Obviously, the line didn't do its job.
F
and
that
led
movie.
to the sack. Hey, look, the man can't throw it and block for himself.
On your screen are the names of the defensive starters for Cleveland.
Oh, okay. All right. We're doing okay. We're kind of doing it.
Mere
For whatever
seconds
reason,
remain in the
Blu-ray.com
first
does not
period.
run well.
Second down, Jaguars.
We got a breeze of a first quarter almost complete here. 3-0 Cleveland over Jacksonville.
43.
Won't quite get that last play off, but that is okay.
Time has expired here in the first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Cleveland Browns with a nice drive down the field to get a field goal and take the lead over Jacksonville. 4:11 to
Second
50
down,
seconds.
Jaguars.
It's 2nd down.
Jacksonville has a man lined up in the slot.
Red 48.
Man in motion. He's going to throw it. That pass was good for a gain of 3 yards.
Back up off me.
Third down, Jaguars.
3rd and 11.
Red 48.
Blake looks downfield.
Oh, Jacksonville, you
incomplete.
had it. Jeff Blake, you had the flat. You went into the double coverage on the right. That's a poor decision. Is Cleveland Stadium right on the
Fourth
water?
down, Jaguars.
4th
The
down.
Jaguars have their punting unit on the field.
That does not bode well for the Jacksonville defense, considering that they did nothing and held on to the ball for such a small amount of time.
McQuarters starts upfield.
Quarters? We had a little more room to the right.
That punt return covered 17 yards.
Straczynski? I love this
First
swag
down,
walk
Browns.
by the punters. Yeah, that's right. I kicked that ball.
First and 10.
No problem.
We're going to take you out,
Culpepper
Ran out of time.
Down he
Great
goes.
defensive
He
play
lost
call
4
by the
yards.
Jacksonville
That's
Jaguars.
painful to look at.
Sent
That's
more
the
than
kind
the
of
Browns
play
can
that makes
handle.
me glad I'm
That'll
up
be a
here
sack.
and not down there.
First sack in the game.
And a second
recorded
and
by
a long second and
Jacksonville.
15
Second
coming
down,
up here.
Browns.
Second and 15.
Cleveland had such good starting field position. Right around midfield. So a little further back this time.
They're going to throw. The defense gets to the quarterback
There was a
and he's
big
sacked.
old
I
gap.
gotta admit, I
Oh,
like the way the tackler
Culpepper.
nailed him on that one.
He held on to the ball just a little too long. He tried to run it, and there was a decent sized hole on the right side, but again,
Third
running into
down,
your lineman, a
Browns.
bad plan. Look,
Third and
Mr.
8.
Culpepper, I don't
Looks like there
pretend
are
to know
6 DBs
exactly
in
what's
the
going
game
on a
for the
football field at all
Jaguars.
times. I don't even know apparently how the playoff rules work in this era of
There's a marker
football.
on the field.
But I do know that running into the gap, far better than the man. Okay? Gap,
Third down, Browns.
thumbs up. Man, not going to be helpful. Okay? All right?
Stay loose.
Just throwing it out there. A false start makes it 3rd down and 23.
He's going to throw it.
Oh, a big bomb down the left side. Can he catch up to it? He can. Oh, but 3rd down and 23. Who cares? Muhammad
That's his first touchdown catch of the
got
day.
behind the defense. A beautiful arc throw. Caught in
That scoring drive
stride.
covered 51
Touchdown.
yards.
Look at that awful drive. 2 sacks, a penalty. Big old green pass right there. Big bomb down the left side.
The Browns will kick the point after touchdown. It's in the air, and the kick is
Kick was
good.
good.
Kick is up and good. So, 10-0 Cleveland. Cleveland looking for that.
Cleveland is ready for
Looking
the
for that
kickoff.
chaos in the AFC Central.
Hollis
Not
gets his
the
foot
best
into the
kick here,
ball.
but
Smith
it's fine.
starts upfield.
look at that. They're actually
He
blocking.
brought the
Good job,
kickoff back
Jacksonville.
23 yards. That was McQuarters. He
Mini
made
golf
the
clap
tackle
for you.
At the 33. Just over 3 minutes left in this half. First down, Jaguars.
First and 10.
Blue, 16.
Man in motion. Blake will pass. He makes the catch. The pass was caught by Taylor. It was a gain
Okay, so that was a
of
catch
5 yards.
right on the sideline. Okay, sure. Whatever you say, video game.
Second down, Jaguars.
Second and 5.
Wait, we gonna get up in
Jacksonville, I believe, gets the first possession of the second half.
He's
So
going to
a
throw
field
it.
goal here, if they
Tough
can get the
break for
defense,
quarterback. That ball
if their
was dropped.
defense can get a stop, which they haven't been able to do. Or, well, they get whatever. Jacksonville, a field goal
Third
or
down,
touchdown actually really
Jaguars.
helps them here.
The offense has
Because
to
they
be
can
thinking
try and
about
double
throwing the
dip
football,
with the next,
but the defense expects
or with the
this.
possession immediately
That gives the
following
defense
half. Their
the upper
defense
hand.
has to come through. Maybe a little early to be talking about that, but
Blake will
something to
pass.
keep in mind. Jacksonville obviously
The ball
not
hit
out of
him
this
in the
game. It's only a
hands, but he
2-possession
couldn't
game.
hold on to it.
He's a better player than that. He should have
However,
had that one.
hard to make a comeback when you're getting crushed coming across the middle like that.
Fourth down, Jaguars. Second punt of the day for Straczynski.
All right, just kidding. Forget about what I talked about. Just take it out of your brain. Throw it away.
Straczynski
We'll come back to
gets
it
the
later
kick
or
away.
probably not.
McQuarters calls for a fair catch.
Fair caught at the 15-yard line. Oh, I don't want that. Why do you think I would click on that? Please
First
don't.
down, Brown.
Don't tell me about that. I don't care about
First
Belfast.
and 10.
Oh boy. It's either just this one website or it really hates how many tabs I have open all at
Man
once.
in motion.
Honestly, could be both.
What a terrific play by the offense. Tomlinson ran for a gain of 13 yards.
Number 21 is a perfect downhill runner.
That's the way I like it.
First down, Browns.
First and 10.
Cleveland lines up in shotgun formation. Culpepper will pass.
Oh, Culpepper, you don't want to give him that much time. Two receivers in the same area. Not great, but does thread the needle and find a completion for a first down.
Nice work down.
2-minute warning
The 2-minute
coming up here.
warning. Halftime approaches. First down, Browns.
Cleveland Browns with a Madden cover athlete. Who was it? That's right, Peyton Hillis. 2012 Madden cover athlete.
He's going to throw it. Tomlinson.
Where they ran a contest. They're like, hey, we'll let the fans vote the cover on, and then it was Peyton Hillis, and they said, you know what, we're not going to do this again. That was a bad
Nice
plan.
play.
Wonder who the cover athlete will be this year. Do we get a defensive player? Do we get a player who went to the Super Bowl?
First and
Do we
10.
get a Joe Burrow, a Jamar Chase,
One back set.
Evan McPherson, Aaron Donald,
Pepper will throw. The pass appeared to be on
Matt
target,
Stafford?
but it was dropped.
He may have
Cooper
been thinking about
Kupp?
the hit, but that's no excuse. You got to catch the ball.
Cooper Kupp
Second down,
would be
Browns.
frickin' wild.
It's second down.
3 receivers on the field for the Browns.
Or do we get like an Aaron Rodgers?
Man in motion. Culpepper will pass.
Probably would have been a better pick to put Rodgers on last year, considering how awful that art is. Just, it sucks. It's terrible. You're taking two dudes who have been on the cover of Madden in the last 4 years, and you're putting them on the cover together. Gross. Then neither of those teams make the Super Bowl? Get out of here. I think you probably should have put Rodgers on
Culpepper will throw.
last year, and then
There's a marker on the field.
The officials have stopped the game.
opens you up for like a
Against the offense.
probably a Ram, I would guess.
Incomplete. Fourth down, Browns.
Fourth down.
Because there wasn't really any.
The punt is in the air.
I mean, Burrow had an incredible
That's a
season.
touchback.
I don't know who you put on there. It'll be interesting. I don't know exactly when that gets announced, but it wasn't like MLB makes sense where it's just like, yeah, Shohei Ohtani. Are you kidding me?
The drive
Who else
begins
are
at
you
the
really
20.
going to put on this cover? No one.
First and 10.
The list of finalists was Shohei Ohtani,
Man in motion.
and that's it.
Blake
That's
looks
the end of the list.
downfield.
Into double coverage, tipped and caught.
Complete.
He was able to at
That
least
play
get up
went
and
for a
start
gain
running, but he
of
didn't.
37 yards.
Finally, a tipped
Now, that's
pass
the kind
goes
of play
in
that
the
makes
favor of an
receiver your
offensive
go-to
team.
guy. He was determined to catch
Timeout
that
by
ball.
Jacksonville,
Timeout called by
57
the
seconds, and the
visitors.
Jags are
Jacksonville
in
still
business.
has 2
We can bring up
timeouts.
that dumb dead
First
point that I
down,
made
Jaguars.
earlier. Put it back in your brain. Can Jacksonville double dip here?
Blake will throw. Cross.
We see this a lot with teams like Green Bay in the
Sweet
NFL,
work by the tight end. That
deferring
pass
at the
play
beginning
covered
of the game if they win the
15
coin
yards.
toss.
That was a nice
Trying to
play.
take advantage
Defense
of
better find a way to
whittling the
take
clock
that
down at the end of the half,
away from the
getting the
offense.
ball
The
back,
second
scoring
quarter is
again,
nearly over.
doubling up,
First down, Jacksonville.
either catching up or taking the lead.
It's caught.
Oh, it's going to get
Touchdown Jaguars. That scoring
Rod
strike
Smith,
was
a
caught by
touchdown
Smith,
there.
And the play went for 26 yards.
Smith will lull you to sleep and then
through a
beat you for the
couple of
big
defenders there. And it's a touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
It looks like the offense will kick the extra point. The kick is on its way. And it's good.
The kick was good.
Cleveland is back deep to receive the kick. The kickoff is in the air.
What does
Morton
Cleveland have in
looks for
response?
running
Let's
room.
find out. We get a
The
decent kickoff return here up to the
covered
35-yard
18
line.
yards.
What did I say? The previous game was in week 4? I can look it up. I have the power. The
First
information.
down, Browns.
1st and 10.
Oh boy. Previous game was
He's
not
looking to
friendly
throw.
to
Muhammad catches the ball.
the
Culpepper
not friendly
completed
to
that pass.
the
play
Cleveland
covered
Browns.
5
Jacksonville
yards.
all over it. I was trying to get a score. I looked away.
2nd down, Browns.
The highlight reel.
2nd and 5.
26-7 was your final in the first one of this, the first matchup of the season. Cleveland now has already scored more
That
points than they
brings us
did
to
in the
the
previous
close of
game.
our first half of
They also
play with the
lead
score
at the end
10
of
to
1.
7. Browns.
10-7. Not a whole lot happened in there before the end of the half. Cleveland dominating time of possession, dominating the yards, but only up by 3.
Jacksonville is back deep to receive the kick.
Jacksonville using a couple of big plays on a quick drive.
There's the
Cut
kick.
the lead down to 3.
Pathon starts upfield. That return was worth 21 yards. The drive begins at the 31.
1st and 10.
The Jaguars line up in the I formation.
Let's see what Jacksonville can do here with the first, with their first possession
White will
of
throw.
the second half.
Nice gain by the Jaguars.
Big pickup, big
Doing
first
right
down for
around the
offense.
first down marker.
First down, Jaguars.
1st and 10.
Taylor is the runner.
No
He gets
Taylor.
a nice gain.
You'd
of
like to see
6
him run that a
yards.
little more outside. But it's Fred Taylor with a nice run there on 1st and 10. Going to set up a second down and
Jaguars.
I guess like short medium.
2nd and 4.
It's too long for short, but too short for medium. Right in that weird zone. I guess medium is 4 to 7, so whatever.
Blake looks downfield.
Blake finding somebody out of the backfield. I believe that's Taylor again. Jeff Blake completing 70% of his
The
passes,
defense needs to
over
start
100
getting in the
yards
quarterback's face.
with the
He's
one
not nearly as
touchdown.
accurate if he's running for his life.
Blake just went over 100 yards passing in this game. First down,
They're
Jaguars.
quickly into Cleveland territory.
Blake looks downfield. Blake found an open man, and it was good for a gain of 13 yards.
That was a fine effort there.
I will say, one of the things I appreciate
First
most
down,
about this,
Jaguars.
I don't have to jiggle the stick.
1st and 10.
The other games, like, because I guess it's system settings, though, more so than the game. But I appreciate that the Xbox is like, we're never going to shut this down, okay? We're not going to darken the screen at all. We're not going
The
to make it
quarterback
conserve
drops
power.
back to pass.
It's going to suck up full power, show full
Nice
screen
pickup
all the
by
time.
Jaguars.
That's a momentum builder for the offense.
Carswell is
Not like
credited
the
with
PS4
tackle.
or the Xbox One, when I do simulated games in there. Ugh, it's rough.
First down, Jacksonville.
It's 1st and goal.
The Jaguars line up in the I formation. It's a run.
It's a running
Taylor
play,
didn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
smashed behind the line.
But I don't think losing yardage was what the coaches had in mind when they called that
No
play.
team ever has the
Harris made
idea of losing
tackle.
yardage.
He brought him down.
They're like,
at the
hey,
7.
you know what? Let's lose a couple yards. Then we'll really surprise them on third and, what was it,
Second
third
down,
and like
Jaguars.
23 or whatever.
Second and goal.
Split backs for Jacksonville.
2 minutes to go here in the first, or in the third quarter, rather. Thank God it's not 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. That would be very bad if this was the third game and we were just getting into the first quarter. Fred Taylor with his third reception, his first touchdown. Jacksonville scoring 14 unanswered. Well, 13 unanswered with a extra point pending.
The offense lines up to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and it's good.
The kick was good.
We're waiting for the kickoff by Jacksonville.
Jacksonville didn't even let the camera to get into position before
There's
they
the kick.
had their power set.
Morton looks for
Cleveland
running
with
room.
what's going to be their first possession of that second half. Their special teams, like blocking unit, is terrible. Second time that someone has just shot through a gap and tackled them.
The
Like,
drive
no
begins
problem.
at the 17.
No questions asked, just like, yep, that's... Got him.
Split backs. Culpepper will pass.
Oh, that was a dangerous
Incomplete.
throw. That was a float pass with timing intended for a crossing pattern, but just a bunch of Jaguars waiting there, ready to
Second
pounce.
down, Browns.
It's second down.
Man in motion. Tomlinson with the ball. He gets a nice gain of 7 yards. Third down, Browns.
The defense is looking to make a big stop here. They would get a huge emotional charge if they could hold them here.
Tomlinson runs it. He was chopped down at the line of scrimmage.
You know, the effort by the offense on that play was
Y'all ain't
bad.
ready.
Darius wrapped him up. Fourth down, Browns.
Oh, Cleveland going quickly 3 and out.
For Hendrick.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The kick is away.
Jacksonville
Pathon calls for a fair
feeling
catch.
good after their last two possessions, scoring some touchdowns.
First down, Jacksonville.
First and 10.
I have time. It's time for everybody's favorite part of the video. It's where I forgot that I didn't fix the description for a different video,
Get back to
and
the
now I
line of
must
scrimmage.
fix
The defense
that
just
video.
flat out beat the offense off the ball.
That was Holmes. He made the tackle at the 31. Second down, Jaguars.
Second and 12.
Green, 43.
Centers with the ball. There was nothing there for the fullback.
You know what, Dick? D stands for dogs, and somebody just let the dogs out.
Tackled by Holmes.
It was the Baja men.
Third down, Jaguars.
It's third down.
That's it.
All
for
right,
the
quarter
third
number
quarter.
3 is behind us. Jacksonville up by 4. Can Cleveland get a stop? Give Dante Culpepper an opportunity to get a game, to get a
Third
drive
and
going.
12 for the Jaguars.
It's third down.
Third down and 12. Good opportunity for Cleveland's defense to come through and get a stop.
He's going to throw it.
Over the
Incomplete.
middle, got tipped almost into a defender's arms, or a defensive lineman's arms.
Fourth down, Jaguars.
Fourth down.
Straczynski is averaging over 40 yards per kick today. The punt is in the air. McQuarters looks for running room.
Oh.
McQuarters returned that punt. He gained 19 yards. First down, Cleveland.
First and 10.
The quarterback drops back to pass. The quarterback keeps the ball. That was a short gain by Culpepper. Second down, Browns.
Second and 8.
Second down and 8. Clock is moving. Cleveland with good position, field position here. Gonna hand the ball off again. Spins off an offensive lineman. Still tackled.
Third down, Browns.
Now, see, this is the kind of situation where your offensive coordinator earns his money. Everybody in the stadium knows that this guy is going to pass.
Man in motion. Culpepper will throw.
Oh,
It's a
Culpepper
sack.
tackled in the
And that's a
backfield.
loss of 4 yards.
The defensive guys really got after it on that play. They weren't going to stop until they got to the quarterback.
Still a lot of time left in the final quarter. Fourth down, Browns. Hentrick is averaging over 40 yards per kick today. The punt is in the air. Pathon calls for a fair catch. First down, Jaguars.
First and 10.
Jaguars deep in their own territory. 3:19 to go.
There's a marker on the field.
False start.
False start against the offense.
I think that's correct on the screen.
First down, Jacksonville.
First and 15.
Blue, 16.
Centers with the ball.
Right up the middle. Ran into his own offensive lineman. Really missed him. Wanted to just give him a hug. Said, hey.
Just over 3 minutes left in this game. Second down, Jaguars.
Second down and 8. So even with the 7-yard gain, it's still second down and long, thanks to the penalty.
Blue, 16.
Blake looks downfield.
Oh, found him
That
across the
connection
first
was
down
enough for a
marker.
first down.
He'll be up near
Play
the
was good
25, and it'll be
9
first and
yards.
10
Now,
for the
that's the kind of
Jacksonville
play an NFL
Jaguars.
receiver has
Cleveland
gotta
got off to such a good start. They were up 10-0. They were looking good, and then a quick drive
First
by
down, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville right before the halftime break,
Jaguars line
and then
up
a
in the
long,
I
drawn-out
formation.
drive in the third quarter. Helped Jacksonville score 14 unanswered points, take the lead. Really seemed to deflate Cleveland here. We're probably going to have a hold here on the offense. I was on the wrong side, I think. No, I was on the right side. I guessed correctly.
First down.
It's going to be first down and 20. Jacksonville shooting themselves in the paw here with these penalties, these late penalties. 2 penalties on this team all game long, both on this drive.
23.
Blake will throw. He makes the catch.
Oh, a fumble! Oh my goodness! What a
That's a
what?
turnover. Recovered
Oh
by
my
McQuarters.
gosh!
Not too many
So many of
offenses
those
can survive turnovers.
catch and instant hits are incomplete passes. Do we have a fantastic finish
The
ready,
drive begins
waiting in
at
the wings?
15.
That's a huge turn for Cleveland. Jacksonville needs to win this game to keep pace with the Ravens, who already won today. Cleveland just going for ultimate chaos in a game that they led Oh my goodness. Touchdown immediately following the turnover. 7-yard average for Ladanian. Tomlinson. He tried his best to get tackled before the end zone, but there was no defender there that could slow him down. He ran right into his own offensive lineman again.
The Browns will kick the point after touchdown. The attempt is on its way, and the kick is good. We're waiting for the kickoff by Cleveland. There's the kick.
So the
Smith
Cleveland
starts
Browns
upfield.
lead by 3. Just over 2 minutes to go here. A big kick
The
return
kickoff
and a
return
bigger
covers
hit
33 yards.
late
He
on
obviously saw something I didn't. What a nice
late
return.
on Smith there.
First down, Jacksonville.
1st and 10.
Wait, pay attention. This ain't kid stuff.
Reed, 43.
He's looking to throw. The pass
Oh
is
my
picked off.
goodness, it got intercepted.
That interception was
Al
back.
Harris.
You know, hindsight is always perfect. That's why I have no
Oh,
problem at all saying that
what
was
a
poor
play.
decision by the quarterback.
Smith made the tackle. He brought him down at the 39. First pick in this game for Paris.
Now that's how you help your team.
First down, Browns.
1st and 10.
It's a pass. Down
Oh my
he
goodness,
goes.
what a
He
terrible
lost
play.
3
Culpepper, what are you
yards.
I
doing?
love the way the defense got after
You're
the
so
quarterback on that
close.
play.
You can
They were
taste the
all
chaos.
That was the 2-minute warning. There are just under 2 minutes left in
This
regulation.
AFC Central is going to be one division to watch
Second down.
down the
Browns.
stretch here.
2nd and
Jacksonville getting a bonus timeout here with the 2-minute warning.
Man in
And an
motion.
excellent start following the sack with a 2nd and 14. Tomlinson finds a little room.
He found some running
It's a
room.
decent
He picked
game,
up
but it's still going to be
5
3rd down and long coming up here.
Timeout called by the
Timeout
visitors.
by
2
Jacksonville.
timeouts left for Jacksonville. 3rd down, Browns.
3rd and 8.
Only one running back.
Pitch out to the right side.
Tomlinson lost a
Not
couple
well
of
blocked
yards
by
there.
Cleveland.
Now,
Not
that
really
was
much of a
just
surprise.
awful effort
Those
by the
typically don't work very well
Tackled
for
by
the
Carter.
offensive team.
Timeout called by
Good
the
defensive
visitors.
stop. Don't love the
One
pitch
timeout
call
left
there.
for Jacksonville.
I mean, that was a
Fourth
pretty
down,
long way to go.
Browns.
Needed a lot to
Hendrick
go
is
right.
averaging Over 40 yards per kick today. Hendrick gets the kick
I'd like to see
away.
them try and throw for the first down. I know that would give, if they have an incomplete pass, it gives
There was no return. That
Jacksonville
was
an
a
extra
touchback.
timeout. I guess maybe that's kind of just the idea. Just, hey, we're going to go ahead. We're going to run the ball regardless. Doesn't matter. We're going to make them burn timeouts.
First down, Jacksonville.
So Jacksonville's Jacksonville's last 2 possessions, each ending with a turnover, a fumble, and then an interception.
It's a pass.
Jeff Blake,
Blake gets
sacked.
sacked. He went down at the 14. Second down, Jaguars.
2nd and 16.
Wait, we're coming to get you, man.
Blake drops. He makes
A
the
nice
catch.
find in the flat for Taylor. He has a lot of green in front of him. A couple of defenders chasing. He might not be able to get there. He's gonna go
Touchdown,
all the
Jaguars.
way.
Jacksonville
Fred
has taken the
Taylor
lead. I just
all the way
love
down
this
the right
fourth quarter.
sideline. Oh my goodness, what a game. Harris, I almost landed this chair as I leaned forward, almost landed this chair on my foot. What an idiot. Al Harris had the magnificent interception. And for whatever reason, did not dive to get that tackle. He looked like he was right there to stop him. At least if it's a dive, trip the feet sort of thing.
Jacksonville is ready for the kickoff.
Wow.
The kickoff is in the air. Morton starts upfield. He brought the kickoff back 17 yards. First down, Browns.
So 59 seconds. Down by 4.
Hey, be very afraid.
He's going to throw it. Conrad makes
Don't
the
love
catch.
that throw out to the flat.
The Browns will get credit for a completed pass, but they did not gain any yardage on the play.
They'll have to burn a
Give the decent
timeout on
credit.
first
They shut that
down,
one
too.
down.
The stop was by Plummer.
Number 29 is really banging heads out there.
Timeout called by the home team. 2 timeouts left for Cleveland. Second down, Browns. Man in motion. Culpepper looks downfield.
Culpepper. Back across his body, off his back foot. All of that is bad, and it's an incomplete pass. Quickly, and that was into triple coverage, which makes it somehow worse.
This ball game is nearly over. Third down, Browns.
Third down and 10. 2 timeouts here for Cleveland, so
Pay attention.
they can still throw it over the middle of the field. They did burn the timeout on the bad completion for no gain after first down. Jacksonville brought an extra couple of
Down
rushers.
he goes. He lost 6 yards.
I love the way the defense
See
got
if
after
maybe
the
there's a
quarterback
timeout
on that play.
taken here
That's called getting
by
home.
Cleveland. They
Rodgers
will
gets
take
to
it. It'll
the
be
quarterback
fourth
for the
down and
second time today.
17.
Obviously, the offense
16,
needs to do a
17,
better
something
job
like
of
that.
blocking this guy.
Timeout called by the home team. Cleveland still has 1 timeout left.
A couple of
Fourth down,
incredible
Browns.
swings
Touchdown here
in
will
the
give
toward
them
the end of this
lead.
game.
The quarterback drops back to pass. The defense held, and the Jaguars
That's a turnover.
take over. First and
So all
10,
3 games here
Jacksonville.
have been decently close score-wise, but just some really weird plays right at the end. We're probably going to get a kneel
That
down
play
here.
Right there is the worst play in the world for the defense and the best one for the
Timeout has been
offense.
called on the field.
Timeout called by the home team. They have
Cleveland
no
burned their third and
timeouts
final
left.
timeout.
Second down, Jaguars.
Petty, you love to see it.
Third down, Jaguars.
3rd and 16.
Green, 43.
That's the end of the game. The final score,
game is over.
21-17, Jacksonville.
This is a huge miss for Cleveland. They had a 10-point lead early. They gave up 14 in a row. Took advantage of a couple of turnovers, got back into the game, took the lead. Not that they were ever really out of the game, but they took the lead, and they just couldn't hold on.
Reel, spotlighting key plays from this game.
Wow. Great come from behind win for Jacksonville. We'll see if Jacksonville and Baltimore play each other. This game doesn't have, or the NFL schedule doesn't really have what we're accustomed to now as far as like
Now on the screen
division
are the stats from
division
this
battles across the NFL. It's kind of just it's a crapshoot of
That's
who's
the
playing
end of
who.
our
So
broadcast, and thanks for tuning
there's no
in.
guarantee that we'll get a
For
bunch of
Ron
division
Pitts and me,
matchups.
Dick
Hopefully we get
Stockton,
some stuff
we'll be seeing you
that could
the
affect
next time
playoff
we
races
play
and all that
NFL Fever.
as the season comes down to a close. What a game! That was a good one. That was a good game. Taking a peek ahead. Taking another peek ahead. No. Don't get either of those teams playing each other. Let's go back. I don't know why I'm saving so much today, but hey, so far so good. We'll keep it rolling. Keep that momentum going. Here's your updated look at the AFC Central. Ravens, Jaguars, take care of business. They're both 9-5. The Browns, Steelers, they both lose. So they are bumping up the Titans. The Titans are climbing the ranks just by hanging out. Just by sitting tight and not playing yet. We'll have their scores, and we'll take a look at the standings after all of this. In the AFC overall, I don't think that really did a whole lot. Actually, maybe it did something for the Jaguars. Seahawks are going to need to win kind of just to keep pace. The Titans are just outside as well, as are the Jets. Big game here to finalize this episode. Patriots and Bills. These teams are right neck and neck for the first place in the AFC East. So a team has a bye in week 17. That is so weird. That is so weird. There's only 31 teams. You could never... Wow. How did the NFL exist with an odd number of teams? What a dumb thing for you to do there, NFL. All right. Anyway. Yeah. I think if the Patriots win, they would take first place. They should take first place. And that's the game that we will be looking at here last, but not least, as we have sorted out some of the jumble of the AFC Central in the last couple of games. So far, a number of good games. I think the scores have all been close. It's been competitive. We're going to a rainy Buffalo, Ralph Wilson Stadium. It's raining. We're going to end this one, and then we'll be 2 weeks out from the playoffs. Again, I believe it was April 19th is when that is going to start. The same day. Hey, the playoffs are going to start on the same day you can buy Jackass Forever and the Humans on Blu-ray. So, good day all around. Good day.
Steve McNair is the perfect model
Steve
for the modern
McNair.
NFL. He's got a great
The Bills have
arm,
not been
and he's a
featured
better
much
than average
on this
runner. And at times,
series, which is
he's so
unfortunate.
good,
I
it's
believe
scary.
it's the first time we've been at home for them.
Thanks, Ron. Let's go down to the field for the coin toss.
The visiting captain will make the call. Captain, what's your choice? He called tails. It is heads. Buffalo wins the toss and elects to
Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done this entire episode during the
We're
Oscars
waiting for
and
the
reacted
kickoff
to all the
by
wins.
Patriots.
I'm kidding. That's a stupid idea. Because that would mean that I would have to pay attention to the Oscars. It'll probably go to the Year of the Dog or Power of the Dog or whatever it is. I don't know that I've seen any of the Best Picture nominees. I haven't really been following the film stuff all that much lately. Yeah, I mean,
First down,
I watched
Buffalo.
Turning Red. Pretty good.
First and 10.
Pretty good movie.
Buffalo has 4 receivers.
I guess, let's see. The movies I've seen this year would just be Jackass Forever, The Batman, Turning Red.
7 yards.
Those would all be kind of more the bigger, like, tentpole releases.
Here's the offense
As
for
far
the
as, like,
Bills.
more of a widely known quantity, you know, rather than a smattering of odds and ends sort of thing.
Second down,
But I also,
Bills.
I mean, aside from, like,
Second and 18.
One back set.
I mean, you're talking about 3 things that are very established. You have Pixar, you have a Jackass franchise that I like, you have the Batman, which has been doing marketing for a while that has always looked very
Second
good.
and long.
I just haven't really seen trailers that have grabbed me. And I think it goes back to when I was back,
It's a run.
back when I was
Davis.
fresh out of high school,
Room to run.
12 years
He
ago.
picked up
Gross.
4 yards.
Uh,
That was Aldridge. He made
really
the
being
tackle at
into the
24. On your
like
screen are the names of
indie
the
film stuff and
defensive
being
starters
probably
for
really
New
snobby
England.
about it. Not that I'm less snobby about it, but still probably really annoying. And this is probably not like
Third
a
down, Bills.
very. Oh, you know what? I also probably I saw American Underdog as well. Okay, 4 movies. I've seen 4 movies this year. There are weekends that I have seen more movies than 4.
McNair drops.
Anyway, it probably isn't like a
Defender
big
got hand on
surprise
that
or
one.
anything, right?
Incomplete.
It's not like a revelatory thought process to have. But fresh out of high school,
Fourth down,
I
Bills.
was very into like the film stuff. Moved away from home to a town that didn't have a theater, and it was like a lot of effort to get to a theater. Whereas when I lived,
Leckler gets the kick
when I was in
away.
high school, it was just like, oh, I'll just go ride the bus, go down to
Warwick
AMC, see
starts
whatever,
upfield.
go home. Now it's like, oh, I'm 30 minutes from the closest theater, and that theater is only like a 12-screen theater that doesn't always
You're looking
have
at the starting
the
offense for New
small
England.
indie stuff that I typically like, which is what I really like about AMC. They've done it a couple of different times in the history since they've been in like downtown Spokane, which is my hometown. Having what is now AMC Select, and I believe
First
it
and
used to
10,
be called
New England.
AMC Independent, where they highlight 4 or 5 movies every week and like give them a special little like section in the paper or whatever. They give them a logo. Now when you go on the app, you look at the AMC app,
Pass was caught
you
by
have,
the halfback. It was a gain of 9
it'll be like in
yards.
gold. And
And
even
here
something
are
like
the
the Batman
defensive
is
starters for
an
Buffalo.
artisan, film that they're highlighting as their artisan series, which is usually reserved for like a lot of like A24 stuff or something like Booksmart,
Second and
much
inches.
more
Just under 3
independent,
minutes left in this
artful
quarter.
types of movies. And obviously, you go see these movies, you enjoy them.
22.
You see trailers for other movies that are of that same vein, of that
is going to
same.
pass.
Oh my goodness! It got popped into the air and intercepted.
That interception
What a
was by
wild
Jenkins.
bounce!
Right about now, the quarterback is trying to
That'll be
convince the
picked
coach
off.
that the only guys
That'll be the
open
Bills.
were the
So you
defensive
stay
players.
in that cycle,
pick in
right?
this
You stay in the
game
cycle.
for
You see a
Jenkins.
movie, you see a
Now
trailer, you
that's
see
how
that
you
movie, you
help
see
your
the trailer,
team.
you see a different movie. Being
First
in a
down,
town that doesn't
Bills.
like doesn't have a theater, doesn't really have a whole lot as far as like, I'm gonna go buy new movies sort of thing. It's like, oh, here's a Walmart. Go see
McNair
what
will pass.
generic
Just a
stuff
short
they
gain
have.
on
That
that
every once in a while they have like
completed
a weird set here and there.
That's what I'm talking about.
You fall out and you kind of just, you miss like a ton of
Second
stuff you
down,
probably would have
Bills.
loved, but you kind of just miss out on it unless you're really looking for it and paying attention to it. Obviously, it's a lot easier now that like the internet is what it is, because it's different now in 2022. It's all everything everywhere. I watch, not to like reference the movie or anything, but
Makes
like
the catch.
I watch
That
so
play
much
covered
stuff
9
on
yards and was
on
enough
YouTube, and
for
like
a
you get
first
the
down
stuff
for
in
Buffalo.
your,
The pass
you get in the
rush needs to start
algorithms
getting
and
some
you get
heat on this
trailers and you have
quarterback.
to
That was
do that
way
stuff.
too
But in the
easy for the
theater, like
offense.
I am the best, I am the perfect target. Where you
First
look at it,
down,
you just go,
Buffalo.
he's locked in. I got him. Deadline, hook, line,
Only
sinker.
one
This
running back.
mother is going to this movie. And, you fall out of the cycle. Fall out of that cycle when you
looking
move
to
to a place
throw.
that you don't have it.
It's
You fall out of the
complete.
cycle when you
McNair
move,
found an
you
open
move
man,
back,
and it was good
do
for a
whatever,
gain of 14
get back into the
yards.
cycle,
Sweet.
fall out of it. I
First
do think that
down,
stuff,
Bills.
like obviously, COVID was a huge problem for me as far as that stuff is concerned, because a lot of movies either didn't release, got pushed back, or were in on streaming services, and like obviously theaters were closed for a long time.
First and 10,
and
Buffalo.
I'm just not as attentive when I'm at home. I like definitely have kind of broken myself of watching. I used to watch movies all the time at home, but I like didn't have phone. I have a phone. I do now, and so I look at that. So I put on stuff that I don't necessarily have to pay attention to. Stuff that I've already seen, you know, TV shows I've already watched, or streams. I watch so much Twitch stuff just like in the background while I'm like working on notes for upcoming stuff, working on schedules for YouTube and recording schedules and or stream schedules or whatever, and doing all that stuff. So it's like kind of, it's surprising. Like even watching like Turning Red is surprising that I watched that at home. I mean, I haven't even seen Luca. Luca's a movie I bought. I bought that movie on 4K. It's sitting over there in a pile. I've bought movies. I just don't watch them at home. And it's not necessarily like a time constraint. I don't have kids. I can do kind of whatever I want. As evidenced by this video that you are watching right now. I can spend 3 hours a week recording a football video game. Why does it look like it's fading into black and white? I can spend 3 hours a week making content in a football game that's 20 years old. Like, time is not a factor.
The kickoff is in the air.
But still, you know. Hopefully, you know, goes. I guess I kind of forget where I was going with that, but.
He brought the kickoff back 24 yards.
So I'm not, you know, I don't see as many trailers as I used to. I think it's harder to, because of all the streaming services, it's kind of hard to like keep track of so much stuff. And like in the theater, it's such a.
First and 10.
My phone's off. I'm not distracted. I am locked in with what you're doing. I get annoyed when people talk during trailers. I hate it. There was a dude when I went and saw the Batman talked like, I thought he was going to talk the whole time, which would have been impressive if you could talk for 3 hours nonstop. But he like just would not shut up. And then thankfully, once the movie started, he actually did shut up, which was nice. But I'm just, you know, I'm not in there. I'm not seeing these trailers that like jump out and grab my attention. You know, I saw a bunch of trailers for like X, and now I'm getting a bunch of trailers for You Were Never Alone. You Were Not Alone, You're Never Alone, something like that. Two of those movies are like, they're both horror movies. I'm not wildly into horror. I like A24, sure. I don't know exactly what studio who is distributing You Were Never Alone, which is like the best folk horror movie since The Witch or whatever. So I don't know.
It's just, first and 10.
It takes work. I don't want to work. I just want things put in front of me. That's a hard thing about even like content creation. Because I had an idea to do MLB The Show 21 and just keep doing that stuff. And I got it on Series X not too long after the season ended. So I was going to like do like a once weekly video in it, maybe just using like random teams or whatever, but check out like created stadiums, silly created stadiums, weird created stadiums. But it is so much effort to go in and find a stadium that's interesting or weird or bizarre and set that up in a way that's like fun or interesting and do all that stuff. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to dig through all this crap. I would just like stuff kind of either like floated to the top or like pointed out to me, which is probably something that more creators do than I realize or think about, is just having like either a person that you pay kind of sift through some stuff, or having a community or people on Twitter or other content creators being like, hey, I checked this stadium out, you might like it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't have to be the stadium for MLB The Show. Or, I'm sorry, it doesn't have to be a stadium. This would just be in the case of MLB The Show. Like, there's probably a lot more...
First down.
First and 10.
I want to say laziness, but that's probably not the right word. Collaboration, suggestion. Then I realized McNabb finding a nice open target here.
Covered 17 yards.
That first down.
But the same thing goes with like with movie trailers, where it's like, do I really want to dig through and go through like a bunch of movie trailer websites to find something interesting, or do I just go like, okay, hey, I got
Looked to me like he tried to run
something.
before he caught the ball.
The Favorite. I got that on Blu-ray. What's their trailers? I got whatever, some dumb Nicolas Cage movie. I got Pig.
Patriots.
What else is on here?
About 3 minutes
know?
left in this half.
You know? Anyway, the Oscars are happening tonight.
McNabb will throw.
There have been years
He's in the end
where I have
zone.
seen
Touchdown, Patriots. The pass
solid
play went
chunks
for
of
14 yards.
the
McCaffrey
Best
can
Picture
find the
nominees.
open
Sometimes it's,
spot
you know,
in
kind of
the
the weirder,
That's
like
his
Netflix
first
stuff.
touchdown catch of
I
the
shouldn't say
day.
weird because it's not like the movies are weird
That
themselves. They
scoring
just mean
drive
like
covered
didn't necessarily
63
get a
yards.
theatrical release sort of thing where it's like, I didn't see it. Netflix, I mean, obviously you have to have a run of shows in a theater to be, or to qualify for the Academy Awards. They obviously had to bend those rules when COVID was a thing. Not that it's not a thing, it's still a thing. We just kind of gave up. Like, if, whatever, who cares? But, for the most part, most movies have to have
New England is ready for
some
the
level of
kickoff.
theatrical release. I think it's usually just like LA or whatever. But
Peterson gets his foot
they have
into
to
the
do it.
ball. Dixon looks for
and
running
Netflix has
room.
been a little bit more willing to put their stuff in
He
theaters.
lost
There'll
the
be like a
ball.
one or, oh my
It's
goodness.
recovered by Buffalo.
Well, you know, a few week engagement. Apple TV Plus, they had A Tragedy of Macbeth was in theaters.
The drive begins at the 25.
I missed that one. That was a bummer. I just read the wrong time. I'm better. I'm
Man in
smarter than
motion.
that. And
McNair drops.
I just
It's an
goofed.
incomplete pass.
Feels bad, man.
Second down.
Second down.
Man in motion.
Kick out to the
Davis
right here.
dives
Nice
ahead.
move. Got kind of tripped up by his own lineman.
That was a beautiful run by the halfback. He
That
picked
worked
up
out well
19
for the
yards.
Buffalo. One of the few times we've seen those stretch plays really work in the favor of the offense. Nice run.
First down, Buffalo.
First and 10.
Slot formation. McNair looks for a receiver.
Anyway, good luck to all the nominees. I'm sure Disney will win
win
Best Animated Feature. Encanto? Probably. That was a movie I enjoyed seeing in theaters. Happy to see that in theaters. Here's the thing.
Play has been
Movie
stopped here in the
studios,
first half for the
please.
2-minute warning. First down, Bills.
Please.
First and 10.
Davis has the ball.
Just put your movies both in theaters and
That
on
was
streams.
Upshaw. He
Just
made
do
the
it.
tackle
It
at
doesn't
the
have to be
40.
only in theaters. Let people who don't want to go to theaters watch
what
it at
I'm talking
home.
about.
Let them have fun of the experience. Let people like me who want to go to the theaters go to the theaters. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Just put it in theaters. Turning Red, Soul,
Second
Luca,
down.
Lightyear. Are you going to make it?
Second and 8.
Come on, please. 7-7.
For the Bills. McNair looks downfield.
Field just wasn't big enough.
7-7 our score, by the way. Talking a lot about movies here.
Third down, Bills.
I think actually
It's third down.
some of the
Nickel defense for the Patriots. McNair looks
I don't want
downfield.
that. No.
The officials are going to bring in the chains. And it's short. 4th and inches.
Fourth and 8.
Second punt of the day for Leckler. There's a marker on the field.
Officials have stopped the game for a penalty.
False start against the offense.
Encanto's already won Best Animated Film.
Just over 1 minute left in this half. 4th down, Bills. Second punt of the day for Leckler.
Dune wins cinematography. Encanto animated feature.
Leckler gets the kick away. Beasley calls for a fair catch.
Drive My Car wins international feature film. I think that was kind of a given because it was nominated for Best Picture.
The drive
It is
begins
The
at
Power of the
16.
Dog. Nightmare Alley was nominated for Best Picture. Interesting. Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard,
It's a pass.
Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story.
It's caught. Touchdown, Patriots.
I feel like this is not a
Green
good
has
list.
a knack for getting vertical.
That's his
Of
first
movies.
touchdown catch of the day.
Dune and King Richard strike me as like a Blind Side and District 9, where it's kind of like, they're recognizable enough, and the sci-fi people will be fans of it, so throw those in there. I haven't seen any of these movies. I saw a trailer for Belfast. I'm surprised it turned out that well. I don't think the trailer's great.
The Patriots
Like, it definitely
line up
didn't
to
sell
kick
me
the
on it.
extra
I don't know
point.
what the hell Coda is, or Don't Look Up. Oh wait, is Don't Look Up the Netflix one?
And it's
The Adam
good.
McKay one? Drive My Car, that's the international winner from, I believe it was Japan. Dune, big sci-fi epic, no thanks. King Richard, Will Smith's attempt to get an Academy Award. Licorice Pizza, Paul
New
Thomas
England
Anderson,
will put the ball in
his new
play.
movie. Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro. Surprised that that's nominated for Best Picture.
Peterson
Power of
kicks
the Dog,
ball.
and then West Side Story, that's a surprising nomination
Dixon
as well.
has
That
the
movie,
ball and
a
starts
lot of these
upfield.
movies, like, I feel like just,
That return
and
was
it's probably a
worth
thing just with the
22
Academy
yards.
Award nominees. But West Side Story was like, there was a lot of build-up around that movie, and then it just kind of fizzled. I think it was poor timing because,
The second quarter
well,
is
one,
nearly over.
Ansel
First down,
Elgort
Bills.
has been accused of
1st and 10.
sexual assault. And then I think Andrew Lloyd Webber
McNair looks for a
died
receiver.
right around that time as well.
And that's close enough to
Which-
bring out the chains.
Is very important.
First down, Bills.
1st and 10.
McNair, don't worry, you won't feel a thing. Go ahead, dude.
McNair will throw. And there's a flag on the play.
Holding against the offense.
First down, Buffalo.
1st and 20.
McNair looks for a receiver. It's a catch.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Bills.
A couple of accusations
McNair
his way as
threw it.
far as
Jackson caught it, and the play went for 65 yards.
Oh, yeah, boy. That play's going to make some
one
highlight reels.
one
That's his first touchdown catch of the day.
one accusation of an unsolicited dick pic in 2014, and then a sexual assault in 2014 as well.
It looks like
neither
the
of those
offense
things really
will kick
helped.
the extra point.
That
The attempt is on its way.
there's a good game happening
it's
here.
good.
Here I am looking at the Oscar winners. Taking a look at the drive summary, sponsored by the 2022 Oscars, airing live right now on ABC. Okay, just kidding. We don't actually get that. Got a 14-14 game with 20 seconds left.
Buffalo is ready for the kickoff.
Dune winning production design as well,
Anderson kicks the
and
ball.
visual effects. Wow,
Rogers starts upfield.
it's a little bit like
Return was worth 22 yards.
Mad Max Fury
Flag
Road.
made the tackle.
Big hit, kind of genre film, picking up some awards.
The
I
drive
think Mad
begins
Max
at
won
the
6
31.
Academy
1st and
Awards,
10.
and it was stuff like that.
You throw like that,
You know, kind of the
we're coming to get you,
nitty gritty, I guess you could call it. your production
There's a
designs,
marker
your
on
visual
the field.
effects, your makeup,
All
hairstyling,
start against the offense.
that sort of stuff. Oh, Dune also won editing. So was that
First
3
down,
for
New
Dune?
England.
First and 15.
Passing formation.
No, 4. Cinematography. 2, 3. Wow, 4? Dune already has 4 Academy
Is going to
Awards?
pass.
My goodness.
The Patriots will get credit for a completed pass, but they did not gain any yardage on the play.
That was a big play.
Coda,
for the
one of the
team.
Best Picture
With their backs
nominees,
to the
winning
wall,
for
they
actor in
showed some
supporting
heart.
role.
Hardy made the tackle. Timeout.
West Side
Called
Story
by
winning
the
for
visitors.
actress in a
2
supporting role.
timeouts left for
Ariana
New England.
DeBose.
Second down, Patriots. McNabb will throw. Warwick caught the pass. The
Chalk
play
2 more up
covered
for
6
Dune.
yards.
Score and sound. Wow.
Third
Wow.
down, Patriots.
Oh, good. Did I save that?
I formation.
Huh.
Richardson is the runner. He was stopped after a short gain. Payne made the
And
tackle.
Denzel Washington's
He brought him
nominated
down
again for
at the
actor in a leading
35.
role.
That's
I would
the
love to
end
see him
of the
win another
second
Oscar.
quarter.
He should have probably like 14 of them at this point.
Buffalo is ready for the kickoff.
He definitely should have won for Fences. I think
There's the
Flight
kick.
he was nominated for, but that was the same year that
Harris
Lincoln
has the ball
came
and
out.
starts upfield. That return was worth 21
Flight is a movie I
yards.
have bought multiple times on Blu-ray. I have not watched it. I bought it once for myself, once for my mom. Actually, speaking of my mom and speaking of Denzel Washington, I gotta go pick
The
up
drive begins at the 23.
Letters for Jordan.
First and 10.
A Journal for Jordan, that's what it's called. See, I can barely even remember movie titles anymore. Everything in my life is falling apart around me.
Looks downfield.
Oh, how was that not an interception? We have Ed McCaffrey going down the sideline. He is going to spring free for a
Touchdown, New
touchdown.
England.
McCaffrey has exceptional hands.
My
Second touchdown
goodness.
today for McCaffrey.
Can't do that anymore. That's illegal. Defender went for the swat, and this is that's the danger of it. Second time we've seen this animation situation. A guy right behind him just doesn't ever dive for it. Remember when we had that touchdown catch that didn't, or the interception return that didn't count?
The Patriots line up for the
was
point
wild.
after touchdown. The kick is up, and it's good.
I wonder if this is Will Smith's year. Is this the one? Is this the Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side where they're like, look, we love you.
Is ready to kick it deep.
Everybody loves you. We're gonna honor you
The
with
kickoff
this
is in
Academy
the
Award.
air.
Will Smith, previously nominated
Dixon
for
starts
The
upfield.
Pursuit of Happiness, lost out to Daniel Day-Lewis for There Will Be
He brought the
Blood.
kickoff back 30
That is
yards.
2007 is a
Has the
very
longer field
good
position here on this drive.
like
They've got a very short
acting
field
category year as far as like best actor is concerned. Javier Bardem won for supporting actor. I don't remember the other nominees, but that was like Ryan Gosling was
First
nominated for
down,
Half Nelson.
Buffalo.
Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, Daniel Day-Lewis, There Will Be Blood. And those three are very good in those respective movies.
Davis is the runner. That play went nowhere. There was no
I love
gain.
Half Nelson. I should watch Half
The
Nelson again.
defense inflicted some pain.
It's been a
on
long
that
time
play.
since I've watched it. I
Williams
wonder
is
how that
credited
holds
with the
up.
tackle. Second down.
Who else? I
Bill.
wonder who else was nominated in those categories.
It's second down.
Man in motion. He drops back to pass. The pass
and
went
immediately
for a gain
hit.
of 4 yards. The receiver was Jackson.
Oh, you know what? It's going to be 2008. It's going to be... That's right. It's going to be 2008. Sorry. I was thinking of the year that everything came out.
The offense
So
needs a big chunk
2008.
to move the
I
sticks here.
apologize.
Now they could try and run it, but I'm guessing this is going to be a pass.
Who hosted this?
McNair looks for a
Oh,
receiver.
John Stewart won.
That pass was good for a gain of 1 yard.
George Clooney and Michael Clayton and Johnny Depp. Oh, okay, so it really took a nosedive after those.
4th down,
Wait, what?
Bills. This will be his third
Wait, was I
punt
wrong?
today.
Uh-oh.
Leckler
What the
gets
hell year am I
kick
thinking
away.
of? It might actually be
Warwick
literally
goes for a fair
2007.
catch. That punt covered 34 yards.
Was Ryan Gosling not nominated? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
First down, Patriots.
1st and 10.
Oh, interesting.
Defense is going with their nickel package on this play. They're
Okay.
expecting pass.
So, all three of those were nominated at some point. Daniel D-Lewis in 2008 for
McNair
There Will Be
keeps
Blood.
the ball. Great
I was
play by the
actually
Patriots.
correct about Ryan Gosling and Will Smith. Both of those in 2007. Those movies were from 2006.
Patriots.
So I was a little off.
1st and 10.
Whoopsie daisy. The Departed won Best Picture. That movie's not that good. It's really not.
He made it back to the line of scrimmage. There was no gain.
Little Miss
Fantastic
Sunshine?
job by the defense.
The ball carrier was brought down.
Yeah, that was
Bowman.
Alan Arkin's a weird.
Second
By the
down,
way, Alan
Patriots.
Arkin, a weird supporting actor. Win.
2nd and 11.
Eddie Murphy was nominated that same year. Mark Wahlberg was nominated. What?
He's looking to throw. McCaffrey makes the catch. He caught the pass. The play covered 4
Children of
yards.
Men? That's wild. Children of Men was not nominated for Best Picture.
Third down, Patriots.
3rd and 7.
Yo, man,
Anyway.
you better not try nothing cute out there.
I have to rescind part of my statement. It
Man in motion.
wasn't great. Johnny Depp got nominated for
Looks for a
Sweeney
receiver.
Todd. The movie
He
sucks.
completed that pass. The play
The half of it that I
covered
saw
6
that gave me a
yards.
headache sucked. I remember somebody watching that, and I asked them to turn it off. I was like, "Will you turn
First
this off?
down,
This is
Patriots.
terrible," and my head hurts.
1st and 10.
Staley gets the ball. He gets a nice gain of 5 yards. Second down, Patriots.
2nd and 5.
McNabb looks downfield.
McNabb, big pass down the middle of the field. He's got a step. Touchdown,
Caught
Patriots.
the ball, but the officials rule he was
Oh, just
not
kidding.
inbounds.
Damn it. I
I
guessed,
like the
and
fact
they...
that he
Okay,
didn't give
all
up
right.
on the play.
Third down, Patriots.
The offense's best chance at picking up a first down here is to throw it. But the defense knows that. Now, a draw play
on,
might
phone,
surprise them.
please. Just send the
Then
message.
again, it might not.
Just send the text.
It's a pass. There's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play. We got a hold here, I bet.
Against the offense.
Oh, my goodness. Decline this. You decline
The
this
pass was
penalty.
complete, but the play
4th
lost
and 7.
yardage.
Wow.
Did you
From
see
which
the way the
probably could have been a
defense closed
touchdown,
on
should have been a
receiver?
touchdown. I don't even know.
That was a nice play.
Fourth down, Patriots.
Wow, the Bills. They paying the refs?
Richardson gets the kick away. That punt goes into the end zone and will not be returned. That's a touchback.
Oh, man. Pretty dumb.
The drive begins at the 20.
So many tabs open.
1st and 10.
Man in motion. He's looking to throw. Gaston makes the catch.
Right on the
The pass
sideline.
was caught by the receiver. It was a gain of 6 yards. Second down, Bills.
2nd and 4.
He's looking to throw. Gadsden catches the ball. That completed pass went for no gain, and that will hurt.
Bills down 7 at the end of the third quarter.
The third quarter is over. Third down, Bills.
This first down should be relatively easy to pick up. But then again, there are no gimmies.
He's going to throw it. And that's close enough to bring out the chains. And it's short. 4th and inches. He's averaging just over 30 yards per punt today. Leckler gets the kick away. Warwick starts upfield.
Oh, nice run back here.
He dives
Bills in
ahead.
hot pursuit. Nice spin move.
Warwick on the return. He gained 27 yards.
I don't know how the coverage team let him get such a great return. Now the offense is starting in scoring position.
That was Soul. He made the tackle at the 48. First down, Patriots.
1st and 10.
4-man front for the Bills.
Oh, kick out to the right.
And
Almost got the
that's
first
close
down
enough
there.
to bring out the chains.
Oh, just kidding. Well, I said no. I
And
said
it's
almost.
short.
Never mind. Hold on.
2nd and inches.
2nd and inches.
It's a run.
Oh,
There
what
was
a
nothing
defensive
there.
play
He
by
lost
Buffalo.
2 yards.
Taking advantage of that
Losing yards
half a
was not
yard
what
that they
had in
stopped him
mind when
short.
they called that.
Russell
Blowing
is
that up in the
credited with
backfield.
tackle. Still a lot of time left in the final quarter. Third down, Patriots.
3rd and 3.
I'm expecting the offense to pick up the first down on this play. But if they don't make it, they have to understand the defense is going to
They're
get a
down in
huge
3. A
surge
run
of
off the
confidence.
right side. It didn't matter.
Bailey gets the ball.
Nice dodge there.
What a terrific play by the offense. He ran for a gain of 20 yards.
That was a smooth run for a first down.
First down, New England.
1st and 10.
Man in motion. Staley is the runner. He picked up 4 yards. 5th tackle in this game now, recorded by Coleman. Second down, Patriots.
2nd and 6.
Good execution on the play. It was enough for a first down. Coleman wrapped him up. First down, Patriots.
First
Just
and
under
goal
3
here.
minutes left in this game.
It's 1st and goal.
Patriots looking to put this game away.
He drops back to
Looking to
pass.
overtake first place in the AFC East.
McMahon
Buffalo with a nice
completed
defensive
that
play
pass.
there to
The play
hold him
covered
off for
4 yards. Bronson made
least
the
another
stop.
down. Timeout.
Called by the home team. 2 timeouts.
still going to be a
left for the
2-score
Bills.
game. I shouldn't say still, but likely a 2-score game here as we wind down game number 4 here.
Second and goal.
It's 2nd and goal.
Man in motion. Staley has the ball.
Staley
The
stopped
Bills
short.
limited the ball carrier to a short gain.
Just keep bringing it. Just keep bringing it.
Timeout called by the home team. 1 timeout left for Buffalo. 3rd and inches. The Patriots line up in the I formation.
All right, 3rd down and goal.
Richardson runs it.
Oh my
Made it
goodness,
back to the
terrific
line of
defense by
scrimmage. There was
Buffalo
no
there,
gain.
slid
Wow,
right
what
into
a
the
play
hole
by
that they
the
were looking to
defense.
The play
looking to
ended just
exploit.
short of the goal line.
Great tackle.
4th and inches. Looks like the offense will attempt a field goal. The officials have
2-minute
stepped in
warning.
to give the 2-minute warning.
We're gonna push this
2
out
minutes
to
left in regulation. 4th and inches.
10-point lead here.
It's up. That kick is good.
That kick gives them some breathing room. Now they can turn it over to the defense.
That scoring drive covered 46 yards. New England will put the ball in play. The kickoff is in the air. Number 14 looks for running room.
Nice
That
spin move.
return was worth
Questionable.
23 yards. The drive begins at the 33.
1st and 10.
Man in motion. It's a pass. The ball is caught.
Oh, he's got a. Oh my goodness,
This
Buffalo!
guy's heading to a new dimension. Next stop, the end zone.
Touchdown,
We've got it in our
Keyshawn
hands.
Johnson.
The touchdown put Buffalo within hailing distance of the lead.
Oh, that got tipped and caught. Boy, I missed a hell of a game here. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you do enjoy content like this, please don't forget to subscribe. Ring the bell. That way you're notified when I post new videos. Thank you so much for watching.
It
Thanks
looks
for
like
hanging
the
out.
offense will
Hopefully you're
kick the
enjoying
extra point.
the action.
The kick's away, and it's good.
Kick was good.
Okay. How many timeouts does Buffalo have left? They're only down 3. I don't know that they took any timeouts. Oh, they took 2.
Waiting
Okay,
for the
just kidding.
kickoff by the Bills.
I don't know why they would take timeouts.
The kickoff is in the air. Rodgers looks for running room. That return was worth 29 yards. First down, Patriots.
1st and 10.
Looks like the defense is using a 3-4 front. Richardson is looking for room.
Oh, nice.
He
Nice
made
juke
a nice
move.
run.
And
He
a
picked
little
up
room
5
off the left
yards.
side.
Timeout.
Buffalo's
going
gonna
to
take their final timeout.
That was their final timeout. 2nd down, Patriots.
I'm okay with the kick deep here. You don't want to give
New
them like
England is going with split backs.
too good a field position, because then they'll try and pin you deep. You won't have a ton of time. And you'll have too long of a field. At least this
That was
way,
a short gain
a
by
better
the
field
halfback.
position to work with.
Third down, Patriots.
3rd and 4.
The offense is going to consume as much time as possible.
Actually, might not even get the ball back. Oh, they're not going to get the ball back. Oh, no. I didn't. Wow, look at how well that lined up for the Patriots.
It's a run. Good play.
It's going to get
by
tackled in the
defense.
backfield, but it's
That'll
not
be a
going to
loss.
matter.
If you didn't see it, you probably smelled it. That play stunk.
The ball carrier was brought down by Hardy.
Buffalo's going to come up 3 points short, and it's the third
This ball
time
game is nearly
we've had a
over.
team
4th down, Patriots.
make a nice push right at the end of the game, but just
Second
not
punt of the
able
day for Richardson.
to have enough time to do anything interesting with it, you know? You know? They don't even have to kick this punt. There's no reason for them to hike this ball. There's a 10-second difference between game and play clock. They're going to kick it.
Richardson gets the kick away.
I'm not going to get anything with it. Is that the end of the game? Is there still time on the clock? What's going on here? Looks like they're running off. That is the end of the game, and the Buffalo Bills fall by 3 to the New England Patriots. A good game, 24-21 back and forth. Lots of Oscar talk. Everyone loves that. I learned that I've been wrong about what year certain actors have been nominated for Academy Awards for a long time now.
Let's take a look at the Taco Bell highlight reel, spotlighting key plays from this game.
All right, we're not quite done yet, folks. Stick around, hang out for just a few more minutes here. We are going to get
now on the screen are the stats.
Your final stats.
Game.
Look at that. 309 to 267 total offense.
Well, this one is over, and on behalf of Ron and myself, thanks for joining us. Be sure to come back real soon.
One wild turnover.
NFL
I did see that.
Again.
We're going to get you scores. We're going to get you standings. We're going to look forward to next week. See kind of where we are sitting. I will pop a save just in case. That way, if anything gets goofed up, I can hopefully either force win or just sim to get the correct wins. It doesn't matter. Wish I had thought of that way back in one of the early weeks. Schedule and start game. We are going to sim a bunch of stuff here, folks. As you know, 4 games. Just like an average Sunday, Monday situation. Oops. Go ahead and sim the week. Take a look at the standings. Very exciting. Couple weeks to go here. We watched the Jaguars come back and beat the Browns 21-17. The Raiders take out the Chargers 17-13. Falcons beat the Colts 21-17. The Bengals beat the Jets 17-13. Washington picks up the first home team win of the week with a 15-0 shutout over the Eagles. What? Where's the... Did they not have a field goals? Fumbles lost, punts, kickoffs, interceptions. Okay. Patriots beat the Bills, as you just saw, 24-21. Lions defeat the Vikings. That might hurt the Vikings' playoff chances, 12-7. 49ers score 44 against the Dolphins. Seahawks keep pace and stay in the playoff race with a 34-27 win over the Cowboys. Kansas City beats the Broncos 38-9. They are in the thick of the AFC West race. Bears get clobbered by the Buccaneers 30-3. The Giants all over the Cardinals 47-12. Packers beat the Titans 26-17. And the last 2 games you saw right here, Rams over the Saints 13-10. Ravens beat the Steelers 10-3. Schedule and start game. We got week 16 coming up next. We'll have to find some interesting matchups in here somewhere. Browns Packers could be interesting. Yeah. A lot of inter conference matchups here. Oh boy. But we'll see. Standings wise, here is a look at the NFC East. The Eagles really had a chance. They lost to Washington by 15. They haven't been able to take advantage of the Cowboys, who haven't been playing super well lately. Cowboys getting the benefit of a terrible division that features 3 4-10 teams, a 5-9 team, and then just them kind of just in the clear. Least interesting division that we have so far, or have had for the entire season. In the AFC East, the Patriots win. They take the lead over the Bills, 9-4-2 to 9-5, no ties. Jets are 7-7. Colts 5-8. Dolphins 5-9. Colts, I have a tie against the Patriots. Green Bay in first place of the NFC Central, 10-3-1. The Bears trail at 9-5. The Buccaneers trail them 8-5-1. Lions and Vikings both 6-8. The AFC Central, we didn't get the chaos that I thought we would. This is probably the exact same that it looked this earlier when we were taking a peek at it. Ravens and Jaguars, they both won. Browns and Steelers lost to those two teams. The Titans lost one. I can't remember. Bengals, they're out of it. Here's where it gets interesting. The NFC West, the Rams and the Saints, they are fighting for that first place spot. The Rams have the upper hand at 8-6, probably due to the season series. 49ers in third at 6-8 with the Falcons. Panthers 3-11. Raiders, Chiefs, Seahawks. Whew. Maybe we have one of these games down the stretch here between these two teams. I kind of doubt it, but maybe. 11-3 for the Raiders, 10-4 for the Chiefs, 9-5 for the Seahawks. Broncos at 7-8, Chargers 5-9. Taking a look here at the NFC, we have the Packers, Buccaneers, and Bears all in this top section. We have, who do we have? We have the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Rams. Cowboys, Packers, and Rams. Cowboys, Packers, Rams. Bears, Buccaneers, Saints would be your other playoff teams. They'll get reseeded depending on how they finish. A couple of teams just aren't probably. This one might start to solidify a lot quicker than I would like it to. There's a batch of 8 and 6 teams. And then the next batch is 2 games behind that. It's 6 and 8. So it's kind of a mess, which is unfortunate. But hey, that's how it goes. We have a similar situation here in the AFC. Raiders, Chiefs, Patriots, Ravens, Jaguars, Bills. That is your top 6. The Seahawks are on the outside, just on the outside, looking in. They have a good cushion against the Browns. We'll have to keep an eye on the Seahawks over the next couple of weeks and see if they can eke their way into the playoffs. A big important win for them today. And the Browns and Steelers really blew their opportunities to push the Ravens and the Jaguars into a little bit more of a playoff contention, like sort of situation. I think the Raiders are leading. The Patriots are leading. And the Ravens or the Jaguars, one of those two teams. So then you would have the Chiefs, you would have the Bills, you would have the other of the Ravens or the Jaguars. So there you have it. Man, could get exciting these next couple of weeks. We'll have to keep an eye on some interesting games. There is starting to be some separation here in both of these divisions. There's a couple game cushion between the last team in contention and the first team out of contention, which is unfortunate, but hey, that's how it goes. Maybe we'll see something wild and wacky next week. You never know. You'll just have to tune in to find out every single Tuesday right here on youtube.com/OnosaurusRex, though sometimes it is on Wednesday, and watch these games. Maybe we'll just kind of keep an eye on some teams that are on the bubble. Maybe the Seahawks-Giants game. Doesn't really look good on paper because the Giants aren't good, but I don't know. This week looks, frankly, kind of ugly. It doesn't look like there's a lot of good teams going at it. Jets, Colts could be interesting, maybe. The Titans. Did the Titans win or lose today? Titans. They lost. Okay, they lost to the Packers. So it's a big blow to them. There you go. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this week's action. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next week for week number 16. Only a couple weeks away from jumping into the playoffs. And we'll wrap out this first season here on May 3rd, 2022. So if you want to check that out, stick around, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week with more NFL action right here on youtube.com/Rex. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and goodbye. Go Sports.